This is the Troll Patrol. Live. With Justin. FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol. Live. It's a freaking Monday, and it's almost freaking Christmas. I hope you're as excited as I am. I'm looking forward to my Christmas Day celebration. I always make ribs on Christmas. That was my grandmother's tradition, and I carry it on to this day. So on Thursday night, I'm going to be making up a barbecue sauce from scratch. Then I'll get up on Friday. I'll put a dry rub on my ribs. I'll stick them in the oven. Apply my barbecue sauce liberally about halfway through the cooking process. Hell yeah. I think I finalized my menu last night. For just myself, I'm only cooking for me. Nobody joining me this year. I'm gonna do baked macaroni and cheese. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm quite the cook. Baked macaroni and cheese to go with my ribs. Gonna do green bean casserole. That really makes me feel like Christmas. Green bean casserole. Deviled eggs. Cranberry sauce. Fuck, I'm making myself hungry right now. But before all that, we got some politics to talk about. Be sure to stick around until the end of the show. What's up, Major? I have some heartwarming stories that'll put you in the Christmas spirit. But also, like, this crazy story that came out of Eastern Kentucky about an axe-wielding dog. You're not going to want to miss that. We're going to play video of a congressperson cracking open a beer on the floor of the House. What do you want to fight about? You want to call in? You want to Discord? I've got the Senate queued up over here. It's quite possible that the COVID relief bill is going to pass while I'm doing this stream. But much like a kidney stone, you don't exactly know when it's going to pass, and it's painful the entire fucking time. They're not even talking about COVID right now.
Is both harmful and dangerous.
They've been going back and forth.
Have not condemned these actions that blatantly violate democratic
cabinet secretary position nominations.
I hope that number grows as well.
And debate on the COVID bill. And the COVID bill is tied to the funding. The government shuts down at midnight tonight if they do not pass the funding bill.
Would roundly condemn
4 hours they've got to pass this shit.
Martial law. Attempting to seize election machines. That would be the effect.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about on Friday.
Martial law. If it was
Trump had a crazy meeting in the Oval Office with Sidney Powell
in a number of states
and Michael Flynn
by the government of the United States. Got to ask the question, in America?
If the health professionals are telling me that there's a new strain that's 70% more contagious,
all that America,
I think I'm going to listen to them instead of some dumb fuck on the internet.
Senators of both parties would condemn,
calling it a plandemic.
Possible terms, even the discussion of martial law.
I ain't high enough for this shit, dude.
And the Army Chief of Staff released a joint statement clarifying, based on these dangerous actions proposed by the President's team, that, quote, there is no role for the U.S. military in determining the outcome of an American election.
That's how stupid the plandemic shit is to me. You made me have to get high. I broke my I broke my new rule of not smoking on the stream. But it's the holidays and I'm in don't give a fuck mode. I'm going to guess that I know a lot more. If you're going to listen to some dummy on the internet, you ought to make it me. Despite how high I am. Congress rushes to vote a $900 billion COVID relief bill. Let's take a look at what's actually in it. They've had a few snafus today. They were trying to upload it to the internet around 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. Apparently there was a corrupted file and they couldn't get it uploaded. Lawmakers tacked on the $1.4 trillion catch-all spending bill and thousands of pages of other end-of-session business in a massive bundle of bipartisan legislation as Capitol Hill prepared to close the books on the year. It's as I said. The government shuts down at midnight tonight if they don't pass this government spending bill. They agreed to the bill yesterday, but they still had to type it out and get it out to the members. I think 2 o'clock was their deadline to have it to the Congress people so they could actually read it and try to get it on the internet. I don't know if they ever did actually get it on the internet so like the public could read it. So it would give everybody a $600 direct stimulus payment, as if it's a stimulus. According to Steve Mnuchin, you could have your $600 as soon as next week. I'm not holding my breath on that. I would say it's the first week of January when you will receive a payment. But hey, if the Treasury Secretary is telling you you're going to get your $600 next week, cool. It would be nice if they could get it into the hands of citizens before the rent come due. But as I said, they still haven't even...
It's $26 billion in agriculture and nutrition.
They haven't voted on it yet. There's still debate on the Senate floor right now.
Suffered losses due to the impact of the pandemic. The remaining
this is live.
Half of the 26, $13 billion be used to combat food insecurity, which is on the rise due to the economic impact of the pandemic.
Saudi Arabia did 9/11.
Mr. President, there's a lot in here that is positive for American families, for workers.
You're going to get your $600.
And for so many other needs.
What up, Dave?
This is months overdue. There are gaps in it. I think this is a 3-month bill to help folks get through January, February, and March. I think we'll need another bill after that.
I think you're going to need another bill.
Very disappointed we don't have dollars in here to help
as soon as
which I fought
Congress reconvenes in January. You need to pass a bill. That way Joe Biden can sign it.
Governments, even though there are provisions that will help states
on his first day in office. That would be the smart thing to do.
But I think it's important that we pass it to provide
$600 is not going to last everybody for fucking 3 months.
Whether it's employment or running a small business or supporting their families. Last point I'll make on this, Mr. President.
I have no...
We gather here today and we hope the vote will be tonight before
Australian woman.
But it's just ironic that today is the 21st of December, the winter solstice.
As I was getting ready to say, the solstice? Are we doing some kind of pagan celebration on the floor of the Senate?
Diaz wrote an op-ed, a very thoughtful op-ed in the New York Times about winter and all of the ways different cultures...
Winter is coming.
...with the darkness and the severity of winter.
Well, I guess it's here now, isn't it?
It provides a context for what we're about to pass and what we must do in the months ahead when the virus is still raging and the death number keeps climbing. Quote, here's what Elizabeth Diaz says, quote, "The great irony of winter..."
No, he's not.
"At the moment darkness is greatest, is also the moment that light is about
But
to
I don't
return.
understand. They've
Each
got
year,
4 fucking hours.
comes
Less than
the
now.
promise that the next
3 hours and
day
50
will
minutes
be brighter.
to pass the coronavirus
We
spending
hope
bill.
and we pray.
And this probably isn't even the last of other business they're going to take up. Since I've been watching this stream, they took up a couple of cabinet positions. Jim, it's going to be a turnout game in Georgia. That's exactly what it is. Hopefully, the Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, crazy Q fucks telling people not to vote is going to pay off and depress the Republican vote enough. So far, turnout in Georgia has been tremendous. Last I saw, it was outpacing turnout for the general election in the first days of early voting. I've not looked at those numbers after the weekend. Grandstanding on something like this, where you have been rushing to get a vote, but it may be some kind of procedural thing that they have to have X amount of minutes of debate, maybe an hour or two, possibly. But I would think if they had the votes, they could vote for cloture in debate and go ahead and vote on the bill. I don't know that was the most boring man in government. I could think of a lot more boring people. While we're waiting, let's go back and take a look at what Rand Paul had to say about this bill.
Like to mock modern monetary theory. The idea that government can print money.
I love to mock modern monetary theory. Shit. Yes, our currency is just fiat. We can print whatever we want.
With impunity. That government can spend whatever it wants without the need to tax. Modern monetary theory is basically the Dick Cheney deficits don't matter crowd. Trussed up with a new fancy title. Most Republicans rightly lampoon this quackery.
Our currency is debt. You got something right, Major.
The quackery themselves. Today, many of these same Republicans will vote for a bill that makes modern monetary theory look like child's play in comparison. The monster spending bill presented today is not just a deficits don't matter disaster, it is everything Republicans say they don't believe in.
Now that's true. Thank you, Rand Paul.
Proponents don't care if you're fully employed or own your own house or own your own business. Free money for everyone, they cry. And yet, if free money were the answer, if money really grew on trees,
money is the answer for the problems people are facing right now, Rand.
Why stop at $600 a person? Why not $1,000? Why not $2,000?
Comrade Rand, advocating for a UBI. I love it.
Everybody gets a guaranteed income caucus. Why not $20,000 a year for everybody? Why not $30,000? If we can.
Why not, Rand? Thank you.
Why not do it? The Treasury can just keep printing the money. That is, until someone points out.
But now we can pay for it by actually taxing people. Nobody said we don't have to tax people. Republicans are the ones that's like, I'm not going to raise taxes.
So-called conservatives who are quick to identify the socialism of Democrats. If you vote for this spending monstrosity, you are no better. When you vote to pass out free money, you lose your soul and you abandon forever any semblance of moral or fiscal integrity.
I mean, he's right for calling Republicans out on their bullshit and showing that they're hypocrites.
Between businesses, folks who
is Tom
have buses,
Carper Is
trains
Tom
with
Carper more enthralling of a speaker?
trucks with diesel engines. And it uses some federal money, some government money, in order to use technology that's available to reduce the emissions from those diesel engines by more than 80%. And I said, tell me more.
See, we're not even talking about the coronavirus bill anymore.
We signed on and introduced the legislation. He's kind enough to let me be his Democratic lead. 1 month later, it was enacted. I mean, I've been here 20 years. I've never seen
Expected to consider government funding in COVID-19 relief.
It was pretty amazing. And every so often, we reauthorize
3 hours and 45 minutes and counting until this government shuts down.
One of the things I love about it, it gets a lot of different stakeholders involved. And for a limited amount of federal dollars, we can have a multiplier effect. That can be,
and this is like the 2 or 3 times already they have passed continuing resolutions.
And the last one is use it.
Government funding was supposed to end like a week ago.
Farm state, but we raised a ton of chickens.
Enjoy your dinner, Producer Dave.
I think for every person in my state, there are like 300 chickens or more. And those chickens, they eat corn and soybeans. We raise the corn and soybeans. And
there is no better time, Whitney.
They have land as close.
But we've got Senator Tom Carper when he's supposed to be voting on a coronavirus relief bill.
And there's always pressure for
talking about what he feeds his chickens.
On our farms, and developers are trying to buy out the farmers and pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Now he's quoting like an Amy Grant song. I don't think that was the original.
We have.
It's like a Roy Orbison or some shit song, wasn't it?
And it's just not, we haven't figured out through this legislation, the so-called...
Amy Grant was a cover.
What we do is the idea is to take carbon out of the air and to use it for a better purpose. One of those better purposes is to replenish the soil. In my state, in Wyoming,
this is the enthralling countdown to the passage
farmers will be less inclined
of the coronavirus relief
they'll stay on the land, they'll be
and government funding bill.
It's just it creates a virtuous cycle
that should happen sometime in the next 3 hours.
I don't think we're going to be joined here
in 43 minutes.
Just give me a heads up, but I don't think he's able to get here that quickly. But John Neely Kennedy from Louisiana was a big part of.
We got other shit to talk about though.
On HFCs. And I just want to say, in his absence, a real big thank you to him. And I want to thank, oh gosh.
I don't see how you could call Echoplex an echo chamber. You know, especially like a show like mine, a show like theirs, where we actually play full, in context, the other side of the debate. How could you call us an echo chamber when we play the right-wing arguments? You saw me play 2.5 minutes of Rand Paul just a few minutes ago. And then we break down their videos. That did look cool. I saw pictures of that earlier. Yeah, and Republicans only care about deficits when it's a Democrat in power, a Democrat coming to power. Like, all of a sudden they give a shit about deficits. They haven't said a word about deficits the last 4 years when Trump has ballooned the deficit. It's insane. So on the House floor, the outgoing delegation have been giving speeches. This motherfucker from, God, this is a very, this side is full of ads. South Carolina Representative Joe Cunningham. There's an outgoing representative, one-term congressman, called for the parties to work together. If you're a Republican, you don't get to call for the parties to work together. What you want is capitulation from the other side. That's what you mean by working together.
Sadly, though, here in Washington, D.C., bipartisanship and civility.
But I give him
seem to be
props
the
for going
exception
out with some
and not the
flair.
rule.
Uh-oh, why are we hung up?
In my short tenure, I've been disappointed.
Oh, this site sucks. I really want to watch this. Come on. C-SPAN wouldn't do this to me.
And not the rule. In my short tenure, I've been disappointed with a lot that I've encountered. I've seen members consistently put their party ahead of their own people, embracing conspiracy theories or arguments detached from reality while knowing better and sometimes admitting so privately. I've seen members mock the president behind his back.
You're calling out your own party, dude. Where you been for the last 4 years?
And worship him on television. I've seen them intentionally spread misinformation and lies, flirt with white supremacists, and pander to the most extreme voices in our society. And it's been for one reason, and one reason alone: self-preservation. People more interested in protecting themselves and their party than protecting our country. More interested in keeping their job than doing their job. Such reckless and selfish behavior has created a system where most politicians can't lose and most Americans can't.
Holy shit, I like this guy. No wonder he lost running as a Republican in South Carolina. He makes too much sense.
Can't win. And when it's time to tackle the greatest challenges before us, our leaders cannot even agree on the problems, let alone the solutions. Today's elected leaders bear a tremendous responsibility to be the custodians of our young and fragile democracy. And make no mistake, our democracy has been battered and bruised, but it is not yet broken.
I don't know about
We
that.
must agree on one basic truth: that the other side is not the enemy. The enemy is the stubbornness of our own biases. The enemy is a political system that seeks to divide us for sport. Let's fight that and not each other.
I've been trying.
Our country's facing some serious issues right now, and our country would be much better served if Democrats and Republicans could come together. My grandfather always told me that you can get through about any problem if you actually sit down with somebody and have a beer together. I've been trying to work with people since the first day I got here. I won't ever stop reaching across the aisle or trying to work with one another or sitting down and having a beer and listening.
I got the Christmas theme going
For the
on.
betterment of this country, we have to come together. We have to sit down and listen to each other.
I got my
and
Christmas
maybe even have a
bandana
beer.
going on.
In the spirit of the bipartisanship and cooperation,
This motherfucker's getting ready to give us a toast.
I raise this glass to my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans.
You're right, Jim.
I'll
How
get back.
sad is it that it takes somebody that's outgoing, that doesn't have to worry about their seat, to speak in that manner? We saw it with Bob Corker in Tennessee. Oh, did I pause this?
Becomes even more important. The affordable housing tax credit is something that Senators Young and myself worked on with Senator Wyden and Senator Isaacson, and we wanted to say that we needed to do more.
I'm sorry, I only have a
tax
cup.
Code could do in helping build more affordable housing. The affordable housing tax credit is provisions that have been in law since 1986.
3 hours and 35 minutes they have until the government shuts down.
And a fluctuating rate, and so the consequence is the historic rate of what people could get to use the tax credit has changed. And
Live on the
this
Senate floor.
legislation will put a floor of 4% in to give investors a bigger idea of what this investment can do for the market. We believe that it will add in the state of Washington.
Did he say glass?
More housing
I
that's
didn't
needed
hear him say glass. I
immediately,
wasn't paying
More
attention.
housing that's needed on the national basis, and help us stabilize things in the near term so that we can work on affordable housing and
So we'll keep checking back in with the Senate to see if they're going to actually take a vote on the thing that everybody actually cares about in this country. The measly $600 that we're going to get. Meanwhile, Bill Barr, who is stepping down after Christmas, what are we shutting down? The Congress? Because they can't do shit? They're useless? The House passed the coronavirus relief bill about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. I don't know how long I've been on the stream now. So it's in the hands of the Senate. They've been debating it. In between, they've debated a few cabinet positions. And then they've just been talking nonsense. One dude had some, one of those recognize citizens from back in my hometown kind of speeches when I was watching it before the stream started. Fuck them indeed. Bill Barr says no need for a special counsel for Hunter Biden probe or election fraud claims. Now, this is his retort to another story. This ties into a story that broke on Saturday about a meeting that took place on Friday with Trump, Sidney Powell, and Michael Flynn. And why are they debating cabinet positions now? You're right, Jim. That's what I don't understand. And as I pointed out earlier, there's been several continuing resolutions. They had to pass a resolution last night to fund the government for 24 more fucking hours. They had to pass a resolution before midnight. And before that, they had to pass a resolution on Friday to fund the government on Saturday and Sunday. They just keep kicking the can down the road and doing this in the least efficient way possible. Our government is severely broken. And I don't know any way to fix it other than to encourage all of my friends to run for office. So that's what this show is. It's the Justin reads the news and headlines and encourages his friends to run for office and fix this goddamn country. I can't believe, looking back on what was it, the end of 2017 maybe, when Bill Barr came in. Maybe it's halfway through 2018. I can't remember exactly when he came into the administration. It's been so weird to see everybody talk about like, oh, Bill Barr is an institutionalist. It's going to be okay. We've got Bill Barr now. And he's such an institutionalist that he knew exactly how everything worked and he knew exactly what he could get away with. He fucking outmaneuvered the institution because he was such an institutionalist. And helped give Trump legitimacy. That's another thing that I'm upset with people like General Mattis, General Kelly. They don't get off the hook with me. They helped lend Trump legitimacy that he wouldn't have otherwise. Trump skated by on their names, and then just as soon as he was done with them, he discarded them and said, do you know how many Trump supporters I've confronted with, hey, General Mattis has called him a threat to the Constitution. They're like, oh, fuck General Mattis. But I thought Trump hired the best people. Yeah, the whole redacted version of the Mueller report. I can't believe he pulled that bullshit. To come out and state his version of events to get out ahead of the actual report being released. And I can't believe our media, both sides did enough to like, well, this is what the Republicans say and this is what the Democrats say, and yeah. And completely blew it when it comes to educating our populace. And that's another thing. It's one of the things that I wanted to do, and still to this day, more than anything, if I was to get an offer to be the news director of a TV station, I would take it. I want to fix our local fucking news. I want to show them how it's done. And there was a news director position open at a TV station I used to work for. I went for it. It was like a year ago or so. And my pitch to them was you do more long-form journalism. The first thing you do is you go to the comment sections on your stories and you figure out what people are saying that they're misinformed about. And then you do these 2 to 4 minute more, because I mean most packages that they do on the local news, they're like 30, 45 seconds. You do these more long form that are 3, 4, 5 minutes, and they're evergreen. You don't actually put a date on them that this happened this day, because it's one of the news tries to play to the immediacy of their broadcasts. I said, no, you don't put a date on it, that way that you can always reuse that content. You put it up on YouTube, people share it out. People share it out on Facebook all the time. And it's good promotion for you. And you do something that answers one of the things that, because right now they depend on getting shares on their Facebook stories off of causing people to fight in the comment sections. Like one of the stories I saw the other day, and I sent this to them when I was trying to get the news director job. It was like 3M dumping something in the Tennessee River. Is it safe? Because they're wanting people, because the more people argue in the comments, the more engagements the story gets. But I'm like, you're the news. You're supposed to be the one to tell them if it's safe or not. You don't ask them if it's safe to try to get fucking clicks on your stories. You give people the information. Pretty much. There are 3 or 4 different conglomerates that own local news stations. Very, very few are owned locally anymore, and that's a shame. That's a real shame. And it's just, you can't. I think it could be done in today's environment. That you could operate one and have it be a little money pit. But without the support of a big company providing you that content stream. Because that's one of the reasons why you want to partner up. They've already got content that they can give you. You don't have to go pay for content to put on your air. Or pay to produce content. I think right-wingers have a very distorted view of China. And China is... I'm very weary of propaganda I hear from the West about China. Because I've known a lot of Chinese people. And their version of what China is not... Now, granted... If you know Chinese people, especially like me, like knowing them in college, they tend to be more wealthy if they're here in the U.S. So, you know, it's kind of a skewed bias. I know there are a lot of wealth inequality issues in China. And like I'm a proponent of free speech. I'm a proponent of democracy as well. So there are several things I butt heads with China, but I also think that right-wingers use China as a scare tactic. It's not this big evil company. It's not this big evil country. It seems like it. I've noticed that China has been taking over a lot of the right-wing conspiracies. So Jim, that's like the airwaves thing. As I would love to press the FCC to take away some of the licenses of local news stations, because one of the first objectives is if you have to do what's in the best interest of your viewers. And I think a lot of local news stations totally dropped the ball on that. And there should be there used to be limits to how much of a market you can control, and we pretty much lifted those. So you couldn't control more than 40% of a market a few years ago, and now you can control 70%. And that's why you have your Nexstars and your Cumulus. But I mean, it's not like it's working out very well for Cumulus. Cumulus has been on the brink of bankruptcy. We've got plenty of bands, but I mean, now we're in a digital mode, and the public airwaves don't even matter that much. Because somebody like me can just hook up their microphone and speak into a fucking camera and reach far more people than being on the local public airwaves. But local news stations squandered the one thing that they had, which was a good reputation. And it's kind of like they hot-shotted everything. They wanted to squeeze as much money out of a market as they could, because they're the only staff that's fully staffed at any station, radio station, TV station, is going to be their sales department. The production staff is going to be a bare bones crew with as few people as they can possibly get away with, and that shows you where the priorities are. They want to come up with more ways to trick people out of their money. And that's another thing, is one of the things that I learned doing terrestrial radio and television was that so much of the advertising, especially a lawyer or a doctor's office, it's more to play to the ego of the lawyer or the doctor. It's not to actually try to sell their service. It's that they like driving down the road and hearing their name on the fucking radio. That's the reason why they buy the advertising. And these fucking radio stations thrive, TV stations thrive on that kind of advertiser. The local car dealership. Who is it in Johnson City? What's his name? The boss with the glasses and shit. He saturates the airwaves because he likes hearing his fucking name. He likes seeing his face up on billboards. And he's a cash cow. They're just sad now because they're all fucking rip-offs of the absurdist advertising of the late 90s, early 2000s. Grind staff, yes. Fucking grind staff. Oh yeah, with a business like yours, word of mouth is way more valuable. Or having a street team is way more valuable than buying radio advertising. When the value that you would find in radio advertising was if you were doing a special event, if you were doing a giveaway with them. That would be your value in advertising with a radio station. But that's our capitalist society. Nobody from a radio station is going to sit down with you. Oh, your appliance business, not the bar. Okay. The appliance business, that's one of those things where you need to be targeted, right? Which also, I'm assuming this was several years ago. The thing about being in an appliance business is you want to be in the local Google area. If you Google, new appliance or used appliance or whatever, you want to come up in your local Google search. But because of profit motive, you don't have people at a TV station or radio station sitting down with you and telling you what's the best for your business. They're trying to sell you on as much fucking bullshit as they can. That's the whole capitalist system. To sell people on as much bullshit as you can. I would love to be a salesperson if I could. If I could sit down with a business and be like, all right, this is what you need. This caters to your need. This may not be, you know, what makes me the most money, but this is what you need, and provide you with the service that's catered to your business. Who is Diana Ploss? I don't believe I know her. And that's the thing with radio advertising, is it's repetition. Because what you're going for with radio advertising is to be top of mind. When somebody thinks of a service, you're the name brand they think of in their head. And it works more if you're out and about driving, because that's where you're more likely to think of a radio ad. So if you're a business that foot traffic isn't incredibly important and you want to be top of mind, doing the repetitive ads on radio, because that is the only way you get heard on radio. But that goes back to another fucking fatal flaw with terrestrial radio. Advertising is too saturated. You've got too many other options now in your car that you can MP3. I don't know. I don't even understand how terrestrial radio is surviving at this moment. But that's one of the reasons why they're all owned by 3 or 4 fucking companies. And that's the reason why you have stupid fucking playlists that are the same all over the country. And that really started taking hold in the early 90s. And it got really bad into the 2000s. And it's just that they're all the same now. You'll hear the same songs in the same order every fucking city you go to. But hey, that's why I quit listening to the radio 25 fucking years ago. As soon as I owned a car and I could put a stereo in it, that's what I did. But I worked in radio for so fucking long. By the way, that's also I get PTSD. If you play a song that was popular on the radio between like 1998 and 2007, that time period where I worked for every fucking different style of radio, holy shit. We had 2 country stations. So there are like that Kid Rock Sheryl Crow song. I don't think it was Sheryl Crow on our country station though. I think they had a different artist doing it, like it was Alison Krauss or something. But like on our pop station, we were playing Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, and on the country station, it was Kid Rock and whoever the fuck it was, country artist. And we were playing it every 15 fucking minutes on both stations. Oh my god! Yeah, pictures. I love your setup that you run the internet radio station. I love that you promote local bands. That's when I was the station manager for my college radio station. That was my business plan for them, was to convert it to where we were half like, you know, pop, alternative rock, college, top 40 kind of shit, and then half local bands. Because my thought process is if I put the local bands all on the station, their word of mouth gets more people listening to us. And I thought it was a damn good plan, but you know, I'm controversial, so I had to get fired from my job as radio station manager. They don't let me on the radio anymore because I do shit like this. Oh yeah, let's check in on the Senate. Wasn't that the same woman that was speaking last time I flipped it over? Holy shit. I'd been talking for like 20 minutes about nonsense, hadn't I? They're not going to pass this bill. They're going to have to vote on another continuing resolution to keep the government open for one more fucking day so they can pass this goddamn bill.
Mr. President.
Senator from Kansas.
Mr. President, thank you. I rise this evening out of respect and in memory of the Gove County Sheriff, Alan Weber, who served his community faithfully over the last 2 decades.
He's going to be another one of those dedicating a road.
On his family's farm near Park, Kansas, and he went on to marry his high school sweetheart, Connie. The couple has 3 children, Andrea, Brandon, and Corey. And those who know Alan, it was always clear that his family meant everything to him.
Our government needs
Many
some
grandchildren were his pride and
insane
joy. In 1996,
retooling. I don't
Weber
understand
drove
how
as
it can
sheriff
function like
and
this.
served his community faithfully over 2 decades since first elected. Gove County is out in western Kansas. It's flat, it's the prairie, it's windy.
Oh, I don't want to pause it. I want to just shut him up for a little bit. So we talked about the meeting. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I got off on a tangent. I was jacking myself off about radio. There was a meeting with Sidney Powell and Michael Flynn, the traitor to this country, in the White House on Friday, and apparently there was a follow-up meeting with Sidney Powell on Sunday. They are encouraging Trump to declare martial law and hold a revote in swing states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona. This came on the same, like they had that meeting on Friday, and this news broke that the Pentagon is halting their briefings of the Biden transition team. And apparently the Biden transition team is saying that, like, this isn't a planned holiday like the Pentagon is saying. Wait, what are you talking about a mulligan? Like they started cooperating with him, now they're like, no. We changed our minds. But I find this curious that this happens the same fucking day. Now, over the weekend, Mark Milley of the Joint Chiefs seemed to basically say that, like, no, there's no coup gonna happen. This is one of the reasons why, like, I would have rather it been Bernie, but if Bernie had been in this position and Trump was pulling this bullshit, I think the powers that be, the oligarchs that run this country, might have very well went along with Trump. Whereas because it's Biden, because it's fucking center of the road, right-winger, institutionalist Biden, I think they're happy to get rid of Trump. They're happy to have Biden in office. So that's why Trump is going to fail at his coup. So maybe I was wrong about Biden being the nominee. But I don't know that in a different world, that without COVID, Biden would have won the election. That's a scary thought. So, I mean, there's a lot of, ifs and buts there. I'm flabbergasted by how easy it has been to subvert the mechanisms of our government. Like, when a competent fascist gets in there, we're fucked. By the end of this decade, if somebody is able to harness the Trump followers who are all just frothing at the mouth wanting a civil war. They're wanting to exact revenge on the libtards. So I like a more traditionally styled Republican on the outside, but someone with the same fascist tendencies as Trump, we're fucked. Luckily for us, I think the military hates Trump. Who would have ever thought we would be talking about this? 20 years ago, this seemed impossible. I blame the propaganda after 9/11. Seriously, like Fox News and its ratcheted up nationalism post 9/11 rotted people's fucking brains in this country. If I had to pinpoint like the one thing that led to the divisiveness that we see now, it's that programming. I didn't get the chance to put the story on the docket, but apparently Fox News has changed its course when it's talking about the Dominion software and voting machines, because the Dominion people have threatened to sue them for defamation. Yeah, but it's also like not out in the open. I always use the Jim, you're a musician. I'm sure you love you some Frank Zappa. Zappa was singing about the right-wing fascist tendencies in the Republican Party in like the mid-'80s. Called it perfectly. And that's you're right, Dave, taking it all the way back to the moral majority. I don't think it would have ever been as bad if it wasn't for the fact that they're able to monetize selling propaganda so easily. There are so many right-wing media institutions. Oh yeah. That's John Birch Society. But they affected us in so much of a institutional way. Because you can trace the roots of the Federalist Society back to the John Birchers. And the Federalist Society's influence on our courts cannot be understated. Let's see what's going on in the Senate again. Are they going to do the people's business? It fits the same profile. They fill the same. They occupy kind of the same space. I can totally see the parallels. We don't have shit going on. Three hours and 6 minutes away from a government shutdown. Let's watch Joe Biden get vaccinated. Then I have a few vaccine stories. Got a couple weird things that happened.
President-elect Joe Biden getting his COVID-19 vaccine. He and incoming First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, both.
Look at that arm. Hold on.
Joe Biden getting his COVID-19 vaccine.
Look at that muscle there. Joe Biden's a little bit more buff than I thought he was. I think he's still pumping some iron.
He and incoming First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, both doing this publicly, receiving their first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in Delaware.
I didn't know he was packing those kind of guns.
And the second lady, who we also saw as the death toll, Kayla, in this disease nears 300,000 people in the United States. This is going to be a big part of his administration's task, which is distributing hundreds of millions of vaccine shots in the early part.
I mean, I know he's old, but I mean, he does look like he's very healthy.
Obviously, they're doing this in a sign of confidence and in a show that this is safe and to listen to the experts and the scientists, as some people are skeptical.
He had to round him up so he could sniff
the
him.
President-elect had said that he would get the vaccine whenever Dr.
He's got the two masks on.
is appointed as his chief.
That's probably what I should. I wore two masks when I went to vote.
And shortly after he suggested that, Dr. Fauci said that it was in President-elect Biden's interest.
He's got the surgical mask on and then the cloth mask over it.
Security and continuity of government perspective for him to get it as soon as it was possible and as soon as it was available to him.
The tunnel children are delicious.
Leadership on Capitol Hill in both parties receiving the vaccine and being very public about having gotten the vaccine, trying to show that this is not.
Now, AOC tweeted out about how
one party would support and another party would
she
not
wishes
support,
that she
trying
didn't
to
have to take it to show that it was safe.
as soon as it is available.
It was a Rand Paul tweet, I think it was, she was responding
The problem
to.
is it's not that widely available yet, and there are also a lot of people who still cannot get it. Mario Gabelli,
Yeah, I was asked about getting vaccinated with others in Congress. It's inappropriate for me, who has already gotten the virus, has immunity, to get in front of elderly healthcare workers. Same goes for AOC or any young healthy person. They should be among last, not first.
and it's
AOC snapped back that, gee, maybe if the GOP hadn't spent so much time undermining public faith in science, masks, and COVID itself, I wouldn't have to weigh the potential misinfo consequences of what would happen if leaders urged people to take a new vaccine that we weren't taking ourselves. And at me next time. Nailed Rand Paul. She's got hella good Twitter game. I've become a really big admirer of AOC. And she is the number 3 fundraiser for the Democrats. Probably going to be the number 1 fundraiser going forward. I haven't even talked about the Jimmy Dore thing. I don't want to talk about the Jimmy Dore thing. I personally don't like Jimmy Dore. I've never liked Jimmy Dore. I would turn him off when he would come on TYT. So that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't care to part ways with him. He is... he weighs into a lot of conspiracy territory. I don't think he really knows a lot of what he's talking about. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I've been so hesitant to even talk about it or play one of the clips. And I really like Matt Taibbi and what's her name? I really like God, her name escapes me right now. Katie Halperin. I think I said it right. he's ever since the Trump era, he has really gone full-blown conspiracy. Like, his fan base is far more right-wingers than it is left-wingers at this point, I'm pretty sure. That he's almost... I hate to call him an asshole, because I mean, hey, I'm an asshole as well. Yeah, he's gone full potato. Trump broke his brain. I think he's occupying a space where it's become profitable and easier. It's easier to do what he's doing now than it is to do comedy. But hey, who am I? Who am I to talk? But like, he doesn't know what he's talking about ever.
It's happening. He's double masked. That is the President-elect Biden.
Couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the former.
Did he already get poked? Did I miss it? Was I talking through it?
Be getting this vaccine.
A lot of people who still cannot get it. Mario Gabelli, sorry to cut you off there on the stock picks, but we are watching and taking this live shot.
Yeah, but that's an important.
They put the chyron over it. We didn't even get to see the action.
Time on that television set, so just continue that visibility.
And it's happening. He's double masked.
Obama,
that
Bush,
is the
Clinton.
President-elect Biden.
Couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the former presidents have all said that they would also be getting this vaccine as well. You know, and remember.
Wait a minute, is William Barr giving... Oh, this was earlier.
In an unforgettable...
So yeah, even C-SPAN is cut away. And they're like, it's too boring for us.
Meticulously collected...
Let me show you William Barr from earlier.
washed, ironed, and folded the garments they found and sent them home to the victims' family members.
What in the hell is he fear-mongering about? All right, so the first of the vaccine stories here. This one I'm not sure about. The other one I know the explanation of. Like vaccinating a swan. So this is Fox 14 out of El Paso. They called it a mishap. Fox 14 noticed a discrepancy when the second nurse went to be vaccinated. Take a closer look at video footage a Fox 14 photojournalist captured during the public vaccination event. That's what we're getting ready to watch here. So yeah, the plunger was already down. The plunger is already down on the syringe. And he kind of flicks it back up. So yeah, that's weird. The syringe appears to be empty and the plunger has already been depressed. It's unclear if the nurse was vaccinated or why the syringe appears to have already been depressed. So all the other nurses look right. What do you mean it's the safety mechanism? I was hoping there'd be like a follow-up or something. Yeah, I don't know the explanation behind that one. The other one, though, we have a nurse that passed out after getting the COVID vaccination.
And today, CHI Memorial called reporters to their hospital as they vaccinated their first group of frontline workers. This nurse was in that group.
About 17 minutes after receiving the shot, she took questions from reporters, and then this happened.
This is right after she got vaccinated.
All of my staff, we are excited to get vaccinated. We are in a COVID unit, so therefore, my team will be getting first chances to get the vaccine. And I know that it's really, I'm feeling really dizzy.
Now, she has a condition. This was not caused by the vaccine. It's possible that the vaccine maybe triggered the condition. By the way, these videos are courtesy of right-wing Facebook. This is where I get a lot of the... That's where I get a lot of videos like this. I was lucky that Facebook already had the answer for why she passed out under it. I'm sorry, I don't have that handy myself. That's not a bad point. Canera. Fuck it, don't worry. Now in Alabama, we got a mayor who wouldn't order a mask mandate without receiving guidance from the Holy Spirit. And now he has the COVID. Oh no, this was in Tennessee. I'm sorry. Middle Tennessee Mayor Bill Newman tested positive for the virus on Friday and is quarantining at home. Just minor symptoms, his secretary said. He's the mayor of Lincoln County, Tennessee, just across the Alabama state line. Newman has rejected calls for a mask mandate in Lincoln County. He is a Christian by faith and said he would only issue such an order if guided to by the Holy Spirit. Now, I would think getting the COVID would be a sign from God if you're of the Christian persuasion. I don't know about you guys. That seems like divine intervention. Tennessee is number one. Like number one in the world for number of cases. We've got news out of Britain that there may be a new strand of the virus.
I'm pleased to see that so much of the continuing the paycheck.
I am upset that this woman
Rubio and I introduced this fall is
won her re-election
the final
for
bill
senator.
Also reflects the very hard work that our
2 hours and 50 minutes until the government shuts down.
Assistance to small business. Senator Jean Shaheen and I had countless meetings.
They have still yet to pass the bill that they agreed on
in conjunction
last night.
With the members of our group. I'd like to take a moment to outline a few.
Now I think there is some procedural thing. There has to be like 2 or 3 hours of debate or some shit.
The hardest hit small businesses to receive a second forgivable PPP loan to ensure that assistance is targeted to those most in need. Eligibility for these.
Oh yeah, most in need, like the mega churches that took out the PPP loans.
300 or fewer employees.
The businesses that Jared Kushner, the Trump organization, are involved with that took out PPP loans.
Some quarter this year compared to an identical quarter in 2019.
I think I saw a report that said something like 50% of the actual small businesses that applied for PPP funding were denied.
Have had on our restaurants and hotels. The bill maintains the general terms for the loans for these entities, but with an
all right, fuck Susan Collins.
Enhancement.
Not a fan. I don't know when this happened. I've had it sitting around for a while. I've been wanting to play it. We had fuck, I forget his name every time. I'm so sorry. Freddie Freecastle. The right-wing troll that tried to punk me out on Parler. I had him on the show on Friday, so I didn't get a chance to play My Pillow Guy. Doing something stupid. I don't even know what he's doing. But according to Dinesh D'Souza, he's speaking the truth about media bias.
The Hyundai Tucson, from the brand with more 2020 IIHS.
Oh fuck, Rumble's got ads now. I was not aware of this. He's always good for a good soundbite.
Whatever, but what I was saying was this thing goes deep and far and wide. What they're doing to all of you on the news right.
Isn't that a fucking religious song? Deep, far, and wide? It's like a southern hymnal or some shit.
Right now, by putting Hunter up there, why didn't they let it out before the election? Because Donald Trump would have got elected. Right? You know, even probably because they probably didn't put in enough algorithms to cheat enough then. So now they're putting it out there for a big mask and a big charade.
So wait a minute. He admits that Trump didn't get elected, but then has to like fold it into the story. Like no, they didn't have their algorithms ready yet. Because Trump actually did get elected, they screwed him over. God damn.
So that people on the right go, well, at least they're going after him now. And it also could be the Democrats putting it out there to get rid of Joe Biden because he's just a Trojan horse to get Kamala in there.
That'd be awesome.
Right now, the big story should be...
I don't think they'd rather have Kamala than Joe Biden. That wasn't as fun of a clip as I thought it would be. But like that whole premise is absolutely stupid. What was that even about media bias? What the fuck? How is that about media bias? All right, this has been blowing my mind all day. Virginia politician arrested in Denver after allegedly kidnapping a 12-year-old California girl. What the fuck? A well-known advocate for pedophilia arrested Monday at Denver International Airport on a misdemeanor. How is that a misdemeanor charge? of harboring a minor after allegedly kidnapping a 12-year-old girl from Fresno, California earlier in the day. How's that a misdemeanor? Nathan Daniel Larson, a 40-year-old, was traveling with the girl from Fresno to Washington, D.C., when he was arrested during a layover in Denver. Okay, although Larson was arrested on misdemeanor charges, he is facing felony charges in Fresno County for kidnapping and child abduction. Good! The whole misdemeanor thing was blowing my mind. Okay, several felony counts here. Child abduction, soliciting child pornography from a minor, and meeting a child for the intention of sex. Larson allegedly met his victim through social media in mid-October and coerced her into running away with him. Flew to Fresno from Virginia and then traveled to the girl's home. Tried to pick her up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m. Persuaded her to sneak out of her house. Larson made her wear a long hair wig to alter her appearance. He also told her to act as though she was disabled and unable to speak to ensure she would not converse with anyone. Wow! You are absolutely right. I mean, did you see the picture of him? Yeah, what was his political affiliation? He served 14 months in prison for felony of threatening the president, advocated for greatly curtailing women's rights, and decriminalizing child sexual abuse and incest, and is a white supremacist. Well, looks like he's a member of the Libertarian Party. Actually received 2% of the vote. Wow. From Charlottesville. Yeah, it looks like he ran in 2018 as a quasi-neo-reactionary libertarian in Virginia's 10th Congressional District. So he was already a felon at that time. Totally sharing out Save the Children memes. Save the children for me is what he was advocating for. Well, sir, he's been arrested. I'm glad I could provide you with that update. Looks like he's going away for a long, long time. Susan Collins still speaking on the Senate floor.
Postal Service. I urge support for the package and I yield the floor.
Urges support for the package. I mean, that dude is definitely somebody that deserves to be put in handcuffs.
To complete my remarks before the vote.
Without objection.
Oh shit! Are we getting close?
With the Senate poised to complete some major business for the country and wrap up a most unusual year, I want to express some gratitude to the men and women behind.
We got the Godfather of the Senate speaking now.
Passing an historic rescue package. And a full-year funding bill would be a serious undertaking, even in ordinary circumstances. And of course, this pandemic year has brought anything but ordinary circumstances to the Senate
just like
That should be the only reason law enforcement exists.
For about 10 months and counting, COVID-19 has imposed new challenges on hundreds of people who are already
Put away pedos. Solve murders and rapes.
in April. We came back to work in early May.
Cop apologists
Institution that we are.
don't ever really like to confront the fact that the police have a very low solve rate
An exemplary safe.
for murders and especially rape.
Not just continued to govern, but completed landmark confirmations and historic legislation for the American people. None of this would have been possible without many people beyond the 100 of us with our names on these desks. I want to thank the Office of the Secretary of the Senate.
I think if there were a different 100 of you guys
Sue Jones. This team
with a different 100 names on the desk, I think a lot more shit would get done.
To the official reporters of debates, to dispersing, and many other offices. Thanks to our parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, who faithfully calls the balls and strikes. She won the admiration of our temporary presider, Chief Justice Roberts, before we reclaimed her as the Senate's own. Thanks also to the Senate Sergeant at Arms, Mike Stenger, and Jennifer Hemingway, and their whole team, from the doorkeepers to the IT team that stood up enormous telework capabilities almost overnight, to the workers who clean offices, move furniture, and keep this place running in hundreds of ways.
Of all the Republicans
Brett Blanton
to get the coronavirus,
role just before the
why couldn't Mitch?
He never missed a beat. His team tackled cleaning in a way that exceeded industry standards, reconceived the food services, and again physically kept the Capitol functioning. Of course, very special thanks are due to our attending physician, Dr. Brian Monahan, and the entire team that he leads. Believe me, they already had a full-time job caring for the members of Congress and the Supreme Court. We've leaned on Dr. Monahan in countless ways all year long. His expertise and wise counsel have been a credit to the Senate throughout the pandemic. Here in the chamber, I want to thank our cloakroom teams led by Gary Myrick on the Democratic side and Robert Duncan on ours. Duncan had only just stepped into his current role when the crisis began to unfold. He navigated about 10 years worth of big challenges in his first 10 months.
This is totally why people hate
Thanks
Washington,
to him and his
D.C.
capable Deputy Chris Tuck. Another key group these past months have been our Rules Committee led by Chairman Blunt and his staff director, Fitzhugh Elder.
Like, this is such a slap in the face to the American people. They have to sit here and listen to Mitch McConnell
Keep this body safe. They've done an outstanding
talk about how great of a job everybody's done.
Or thanks. We're grateful to the men and women of the Capitol Police, led by Chief Stephen Sund, who have stood their post even when most of the rest of us have worked remotely.
As I said, I'm not sure that there's not a certain amount of debate that has to take place.
And during the other
And that some of this hasn't been a formality.
Courage and professionalism. And across the board, I want to thank all of our Senate staff, both the smaller footprint who have continued physically working at the Capitol.
But there has to be a better way to do this. We need reforms. We need reforms across the board.
I'm grateful to you all. Last but not least, I want to thank my own team, my personal office led by
Mitch McConnell. I can't believe he won. I can't believe he won his re-election.
Priorities throughout this crisis. Our state offices, steered by Terry Carmack, kept us connected to our constituents in new ways. My communications are up.
I'm hoping that just over the next few years, millennials taking over.
Here in the Capitol, my leadership staff has given incredible amounts
and just getting younger blood into government.
And to the Senate the entire year. Remember, this is somehow still the same calendar year that began with an impeachment trial.
I know, I keep saying that. The impeachment was earlier this year. It's insane.
And confirmation this fall, and finally the all-out legislative sprint since Thanksgiving. First,
this has been a wild fucking year.
Jeff McCall runs our operations in an incredibly historically complex time to handle operations.
Like, it should have been boring and peaceful. We should all been paid to stay home
And Scott Rapp,
jacking off.
he's led his colleagues through a legislative year like no other, from mammoth negotiations and historic rescue packages.
See you, Dave.
To our most particular priorities and everything in between.
I'll do my best to drop by, my friend.
And he's been indispensable. Beneath them,
I took a job with a podcasting company,
I'm lucky to have.
and I've been working my ass off for them. I'm trying to balance
my chief counsel
the time of doing all the jobs.
Advice from impeachment to policy to the judiciary. Robert Karam, my defense policy expert, has brought critical institutional leadership as 2020.
Hopefully the stream isn't even going to last that much longer. We're going to get a vote on a coronavirus bill.
Handles her massive portfolio and more.
And then I'm going to talk about an axe-wielding dog.
And calm under fire. And she's
You stick around for that. That's going to be fun.
Terry Van Doren is a policy master who delivers for Kentucky and the country every time. Erica Suarez and Jim Neal, expert liaisons and advisors who keep me connected inside the Senate and beyond.
Now, I once told the story.
Appointment on all things election law during this election year.
My buddy over there at Echoplex, he does a stream every night. He kind of focuses more on it's not so much fringe anymore. Right-wing, alt-right conspiracy theories.
Andy Quinn is a master of words and ideas.
If you're on Twitch, do check him out.
Doug Andres, Scott Slutman, and their whole operation keep my message.
He makes great content every night.
Message front and center.
And he promotes a lot of local bands from his area. He's from the Bay Area in California.
Both with great humor and greater professionalism. Moon Self Lab keeps our technology systems running and our spirits high. I have to mention our healthcare expert, Jen Koskowski, who worked remotely this spring while expecting her baby boy.
That's what our conversation
on maternity leave. We can't wait.
In the comments right now is way more interesting than stupid-ass Mitch McConnell.
Who Senator Alexander generously shared from his health committee staff to help us in Jen's absence. Rounding out our leadership team are crack researchers Robert Utze and David Haltman, skilled communicators Dylan Borbeck, Valerie.
This is just a slap in the face to the American people.
And Catherine Grayson. And our
to have to listen to him grandstand.
Keep everybody in line.
And thank all the people for the crumbs that they're getting ready to bestow upon us.
Finally, Mr. President, at the head of this entire team is our fearless leader, our Chief of Staff, Sharon Soderstrom. Everybody on Capitol Hill and everybody in Washington knows that Sharon is one of the smartest, most dedicated, and most effective staff leaders working at any level in any branch.
I can't imagine unless
on every subject. She was in the leader's office before I was.
Unless
Trent Lott and Bill Frist. So I count my blessings on a daily basis that I am lucky, number 3.
Unless your goal is obstructionism. Unless your goal is to be as cruel as you can to the American people.
While she's at it. A walking master class.
Then Mitch McConnell can't say that his chief of staff or whoever the fuck he was praising was one of the smartest, most effective people on Capitol Hill.
2021, with these talented professionals at my side.
Because they sure as shit have one of the most unpopular Congress. The approval rating for Congress is rock bottom.
On the nomination?
We're going to have debate on another nomination.
Is there sufficient second? There appears to be.
Fucking Kennedy.
Call the roll.
Mr. Alexander, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett.
maybe we'll actually get to the vote.
Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blunt.
Yeah, this is to confirm the Inspector General. Not even getting the vote on the COVID bill yet.
Mr. Booker. Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Braun. Mr. Brown.
I totally want to save the axe-wielding dog for the end. I hope it's a fun story. All I know is an axe-wielding dog. I don't know anything else. Body cam video shows mob mentality of Boston police. Video is age restricted. I bet.
Stop spraying the fuckers.
Have a great night, Jim. Wish you could stick around for us to see this historic vote, but who knows? They might go all the way until midnight. I'm not sticking with it that long. Oh, look at these fuckers. Did you hear him? He said, I want to hit this asshole.
I lose 2 of these already. I got a little left. I want to hit this kid.
He's like picking out the person he wants to mace in the crowd. What the fuck? Just disgusting. This is on May 31st. Now I got a companion piece to go with that video footage we just watched. It turns out that providing police with military gear does not reduce crime or protect the officers. 2 independent studies have drawn the same conclusions. Billions of dollars in surplus military equipment, including armored vehicles and high-powered rifles, that have been transferred by the federal government to thousands of U.S. police departments have not reduced crime or increased officer safety. Because, duh! The reason we have these transfers from the federal government is because the defense industry thrives on government handouts. It's been a revolving door of people working at the Pentagon going to work for defense contractors, using their government connections to grease their own wheels, and politicians go along with it because it's a jobs program. They're able to go back to their districts and say, oh, I've got Boeing, I've got Raytheon. They're going to build a factory in my district. Isn't it great? All the jobs, all the high-paying jobs they're going to bring. But as we run out of countries to be able to bomb, there's not that many poor brown countries left in the world. We got to send that gear somewhere. So they've been feeding it to local police departments, state troopers and shit. And it's a never-ending cycle. And if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So you get video of them pepper spraying everybody. Add that in to the fact that the police union in this country is the only strong union we have. That's the worst fucking occupation to have a strong union for. So they've negotiated the fact that you can't fire shitty cops. It's impossible to hold cops accountable. Pisses me completely off. You want to do a Christmas story? See if we can kill some more time before we get a vote on the coronavirus stimulus bill. Here's a little Christmas cheer for you. Infected Santa and Mrs. Claus could have exposed 50 children in Georgia to COVID-19. Because of course. Who thought it was smart to let 50 children be around a fucking Santa Claus during a goddamn pandemic? A Santa parade held in Georgia could have exposed nearly 50 children to the coronavirus after both Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus reported testing positive. The Long County Board of Commissioners chairman confirmed the positive test results following Thursday's event in a statement posted on the board's website. While this is cause for concern, I feel that it is important to note that exposures happen every day as we go about our day-to-day lives, often without any knowledge. What? Okay. Are they voting? They're voting to confirm Eric Soskin as Inspector General right now. They're not voting on the coronavirus package. Because they're useless. It's supposed to happen at any time. The way Mitch McConnell was talking, I can understand how a TV station could get it wrong. Because Mitch McConnell gave his little speech up there and he talked about all his people. And he's like, we're going to have this vote. We didn't have that vote, though. We're voting on something else. Fucking Santa parade, though. Both the Clauses tested positive for COVID-19 on Saturday. On the Saturday following the parade. Parker added that this particular Santa and Mrs. Claus consider the job the most important of their lives. I guess that's sweet. I mean, if you're into children, not like the guy that we covered earlier that went to California and kidnapped one. Not like that, but if you like children, I guess seeing their smiles when they meet Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus could be something very heartwarming to you. I don't care. I don't like kids. Though I still haven't tried out the Media Wench's recipe for adrenochrome. That might change my mind. We have a useless government. 2 hours 21 minutes until the government shuts down. If they don't vote and pass the bill that they've agreed on. A good healthy dose of cynicism is definitely what the kids need today. By the way, if you want to call in and argue with me, 917-830-4359. Hop in the Discord. Hell yeah, pump them up. Pump them full of that cynicism. I'm going to get some of that Christmas cheer going on. I seriously wanted to stick around and watch the vote. Who you calling Sherrock? Were you talking about my ducky? Quack, 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 quack. I've got all my metal pieces are soaking in alcohol right now. I need to clean them very badly. Yeah, I love my ducky. It's quite awesome. It's a water pipe. It's got the little duck on the front of it. I'm amazed it's lasted as long as I've had it. I assume I'm able to keep. I have so many pieces now. I assume that I'm able to keep them as long as I do because I don't use any one piece that often. So that's why I've been able to have the duck for 4 or 5 years now, it seems. Because it felt like for the longest time, you know, just like if you smoke a lot, you're gonna like wear out the glass and it's gonna. You come in here and talk with me while we wait out this vote. Are you there, Winch?
Hey, motherfucker.
What's going on?
I roll joints. I don't know why I even own so many pipes anymore. I just collect them out of habit.
Everybody, like my friends are always like, oh, let's roll a joint. And I'm like, I'm not into it.
It's easier. It's faster. People don't know how to do corners anymore. Like, I'd rather do a snap so it doesn't taste like shit. It's like, it's really kind of a throat preservation thing.
Really, like I feel like I always have a smooth, you know. I've got very nice pipes. This is one of my favorites. One of my newest purchases. It hits so well.
Oh, nice. I like it.
But I've got 10, 15 glass pieces.
Oh yeah, I have a giant glass gravity bong that I bought in Arizona on 420 in 2004. And you would think between then and now, the 16 years that I've had it, some portion of it would have just fucking busted. Because it's been at my house, it's been at Dave's house, I've traveled that bitch all over the place from Arizona for the last 16 years. And still, that thing is in one fucking piece. I'll send a picture of it to you later. It's an amazing piece of like glass architecture.
Well, like I can see a body surviving that, but like you haven't had to replace the stem or the bowl?
Oh, the drop tube is what is the most fragile. It has like an 18-inch double-walled drop tube that goes down through the top of it, and it has a decanter-type lid, with 2 holes in the side for the air ventilation. So you pop the top, pop the bowl in the top, pull it up to draw, take the top of it out like a decanter, and then just push it down. Whoosh, just shush it down, and you can hit it like a bong, or you can gravity bong that shit and just inject smoke into your cells.
Oh shit. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
It's dope. It is. It's dope. It's fun. It was rather expensive. It's probably the most expensive piece that I have. But again, that was in 2004, and I bought it in Tempe, Arizona. So that was even before they were. I think they had legalized for medical use
Medicinal,
by then,
yeah.
but they had put some sort of like contingency to like a backdoor fuck you to if any medical doctor gave out a recommendation, they would lose their license.
Dude, what? I missed that one. What?
Oh, they had passed legislature in Arizona that they were cool for medical marijuana.
But then doctors couldn't prescribe it.
But then you couldn't give a recommendation for it because there's a difference between a recommendation and a prescription. Like,
wait a minute. You're saying I would have to ask for it, that a doctor couldn't be like, "Oh, you need some weed."
No. You can't prescribe weed because there is no set dosage. So anyone who says that they have a prescription for weed is full of shit. They have no idea what they're talking about. You get a recommendation for medical marijuana therapy, and then you go and you buy it on your own because there's no way to give out an exact dosage of grown cannabis unless you get like the Marinol or something like that, the synthetic shit, because it's going to be different. Every strain is different. Every person it affects differently. Like you can get milligrams and stuff like that in edibles and things, but not in like flour. It's there's too many variables. So
Well, didn't the people like
doctor?
There are people that was federally prescribed it, and they used to get like packages of joints, didn't they?
Right. But that's also like governmentally grown in a very controlled environment.
Yeah, that's it. Like there was like one last guy that was still on it in like the mid 2000s, and I think Vice did a piece on him. He got very pissed when they tried to take it away from him.
Yeah. No, we had I think we had one of them that was in the Bay Area that we used to come to our clubs that had the federal recommendation, still had the federal prescription. But yeah, those shits are incredibly few and far between, and
it was like a limited program they did. Was it in the late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, for people with bone cancer.
Yeah, and it was only like 10, 15, 20 people. It was a very, very small group. I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, the most of those guys aren't even around anymore. But yeah, that was the loophole around it, was in Arizona, since it's federally regulated and you can't give out a prescription for it because there's no set dosage. You can only give a recommendation, and any doctors to give a recommendation would lose their license. So that's how they got around it being able to dispense it in Arizona in a commercial or a medical dispensary setting.
See, that's the thing, is like, because there's so much commercial potential and because we're such a capitalist fuck waste of a country, which that's the reason why pot is taking off now, but I'm amazed that it's taken it as long as it has.
Oh, I know. But I've been in the industry since 2001, so that was the first very, very, very shady, very backdoor club that producer Dave and I both used to work at. Way, way, way back in the day in Hayward off B Street. That's why whenever I get like a hold of some nugs and I'm like, dude, Dave, this is B Street shit. He's like, oh shit. Because it's that back in the day high.
What are you gonna spend your $600 on?
Oh, I won't get it. The feds will take it away from me.
Oh yeah. We had this conversation. Okay, theoretically, if you got $600 from the government, what would you spend it on for the purposes of this segment?
Probably registration for my car.
Are you driving around? What do you call it? Dirty?
Oh, honey, I'm an outlaw.
That's such a East Tennessee thing. Tell me that you're an outlaw.
I've also been driving since I was like 11. So
Driving with no tags and shit.
My grandma bought me my first car when I was 13 because she was too lazy to drive me to my friends' houses because they lived like 20, 30 minutes away because we lived in BFE. You know, we lived up in northern California where our town only had 2,500 people in it. It was teeny tiny. And so my grandma bought me a 89 Ford Mustang LX.
Nice.
Hatchback. 4.6, not the 5.0. But for a fucking 13-year-old,
yeah,
roasting my fucking tires in the dirt driveway was plenty fun. And eventually she let me drive it to school when I started going to high school and stuff. And my friends were working on it in the auto shop and fixed up a bunch of stuff for me. I got one of those purple Krakow light up face fucking stereos so we could sit in the car and smoke weed in the driveway and be all like lit up purple and shit because we're a bunch of dorks. And
I had a purple gear shifter knob in my truck when I was like 19, 20.
That's the good shit.
And then I had one of those like icicle lights, and it bounced with the music. It was up in the dashboard.
Nice.
And I had you would have thought that I was on fucking MDMA, ecstasy and shit, and I wasn't. But I had the oh shit, it's timed out on me. We've sat here and been talking so long. But I had the glow in the dark stars on the roof of my truck.
Oh, nice. I had those in my my bedroom. But
CNN likes to thank, or C-SPAN likes to thank their partners, their satellite.
They like to thank them a lot.
Cable.
But when I was a sophomore in high school, I had let my friend Christina take it to auto shop because I needed to have the fuel lines and some other lines replaced. So she fixed them up and she replaced them. And then she's like, hey, can I drive it home? I'm trying to practice for my driver's test. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I let her drive it home.
I don't like where this is going. She wrecked it, didn't she?
She flipped it. Yeah, she flipped
God damn.
We're out on this like backwoods country ass road. There was 4 of us.
Mr. Menendez.
And my car is upside down, and we're like freaking out. Like me and my friend Lori and my friend Delilah were like high fiving because we're like, yeah, we fucking lived, fuck yeah. And
wait, you were in the car with her?
And what?
You were in the car with her when she flipped it?
Oh yeah. There was 4 of us in the car.
Oh damn.
And yeah, and so she was like bawling, fucking crying, and then just like,
I bet.
Well, we didn't know what we were gonna do because we were like probably maybe 10 miles from the nearest place where we thought we could get to a phone. And then like 2 minutes later, these Caltrans workers drive down, and we're like, fucking saved, dude, saved by Caltrans. And so they called the highway patrol, and highway patrol came out, and they called the tow truck, and the tow truck came and flipped my car back over. And it was a white car, and all the transmission fluid had dumped into the hood. So when they flipped it over, it came like pouring down the sides of it. And it was all red because transmission fluid is red.
Yeah.
It looked like it was bleeding, the poor thing.
I assume it was totaled, right?
Totally fucked. Bent the fucking rear axle, dude. Like, how do you bent it to shit? Fucked my whole car. I didn't get another car until I don't know, like, so that was in 96, so 2000. I didn't get another car until, again, then that was a Plymouth Grand Voyager. It was green, and we called it the Bong Bus.
So like it was a van, wasn't it?
Oh fuck yeah, it was the big ass van too. It had 3 rows of seats. We drove that shit to Santa Cruz like twice a week. From Fremont to Oakland to Santa Cruz and then back. Sometimes twice because we needed more weed.
You would fit in East Tennessee. You really would.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, I'm only 25 minutes from Santa Cruz now, so it's just right over the hill.
I'm just saying the attitude with the van that you drove around and then you had the Mustang.
Oh yeah, no, we drove the shit out of that thing. That thing ended up dying in Arizona.
Well, you know, like So my senior year of high school, before I got my truck was like my first vehicle, but I used to drive my mom's van. But like I enjoyed it, but like it was definitely a mom van. It wasn't like a cool van by any stretch.
Oh no, this was certainly a mom van. It was just we just smoked. We just we just drove it everywhere and smoked weed. And
yeah, but it was yours though. You could pimp it out though, right?
No, it didn't have captain's chairs in it. No, it was just regular seats.
Oh, so you didn't have that much customization you could do to it?
No. It was just a mom van. But yeah, we just called it the bong bus because we just drove it around, and we had a 3-foot bong that we kept in it because we had room for it. So like, why not?
I could tell you why not if you wanted me to.
Well,
I can give you a very damn good reason why not. Because we're talking what, 2000 is what you said? 2001?
2000. We had that van from 2001 to 2005.
Yeah. Marijuana wasn't legal then.
Well, it was in California for medical use. We all had cards and stuff. But I mean, you can't smoke in the car. You can't smoke in the car now.
You had cards back then?
Yeah. Weed was legalized for medical use in California in '96.
I really have been missing out, haven't I?
Yeah, I could talk about weed all day. This is like one of my jams. Like growing it, smoking it, the industry of it, like all of it. It's one of my subjects that I'm very, very, very keyed up on.
Well, I need to move to California. All the right wingers are like, you need to leave California. Like, I need to get to fucking California.
Well, we have 2 friends that have rooms available. I'm just saying.
I'm here until September, unfortunately, because when the pandemic happened, I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to leave now. September's like the closest time I'd be able to leave.
Yeah. When September ends,
we're never gonna get a vote on this shit. It's like 2
how
hours.
much time do we? 2 hours.
2 hours until the government shuts the fuck down.
I'm almost like, just fucking do it. Just shut it down. Fuck them. I mean, I know that sucks, but I mean, it's just one more thing to blame the GOP for, right?
The Democrats are never able to capitalize and turn it into a win.
I know, and it sucks. Except they couldn't even do it whenever Trump is like, I'll own it. I'll own the shutdown. This is my shutdown. Blah, 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 blah. And we seem to all fucking forget about that. That was like, God, what was that shutdown over? It was over the wall funding, wasn't it?
I don't even remember now. So much has happened.
I'm pretty sure it was over wall funding. They're like, because he wanted like $5 billion for the wall. And Pelosi and Schumer were like, motherfuck no, I thought Mexico was paying for this shit. And Trump is like, well, they'll pay for it in tariffs, and that's not how tariffs work. So...
Not at all. This is the right's fabled understanding of economics. No. And this is the businessman.
Yeah. But he's a businessman, so... Okay. But yeah, probably the most fun place that I worked when it came to weed, though, was in Oregon. I worked at a recreational commercial grow up there for a couple of months, and I was the trim boss for a portion of that during harvest season.
The trim boss?
Yeah, I was in charge of the whole trim crew. I started from 3 dudes and myself to a crew of 15. And we had about 1,500 plants that we had to trim. 500 of them were outdoor. And some of those were, I mean, the average was probably 6 to 7 feet tall, but some of them were a little bigger, and they got to be about, I think the tallest one was 15 feet tall. Your socks are in the room, and I don't know where your shoes are.
I don't know where my socks are.
I'm talking to my daughter.
Oh no, my socks are right there. He's in the chair. You
No, my
can't see
kids are
him
down
because he's
for-
black and he blends in, but he's right there. That's my socks.
No, my kids are down for a Christmas vacation. They got here on Friday.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that you guys were getting ready to watch some Christmas Vacation.
No.
Kids are down for some Christmas Vacation. Like, yeah, that's what I'd watch with them too.
Yeah, no, they just watch Meet Me in St. Louis. They just watched that movie.
Oh, is that a Christmas movie?
I mean, I would kind of consider it a Christmas movie. That was, I think, the first performance or like recorded performance of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" that Judy Garland did.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that was in that movie.
Okay. I've got the because I just upgraded to the 4K. I've got It's a Wonderful Life in 4K, and I've got
Nice.
The Grinch in 4K, the Jim Carrey one.
Who is this? Who is this pink-haired lady in the bottom left-hand corner? I'm very intrigued.
Is it Kristen
left.
Cinema?
Or it's a different shot now. I'm still watching this one that
I saw her walk by. I think it's Kristen Cinema. Because that's the wig she had on when she swore in.
there she is, right there.
When she swore in Mark Kelly,
Yeah, she
the
is. Is that a
senator
wig?
from Arizona. Yeah, she had that. She had a pink wig on when she swore him in.
Fucking bummer.
Not she didn't swear him in. Mike Pence swore him in, and she held the Bible for him.
Gotcha.
And she because there was a meme going around. It was like the pink-haired bisexual held the Bible for him in front of Mike Pence, and it was funny. But she's really. I used to be a very big fan of hers, but she has gone kind of moderate Democrat to be a pink-haired bisexual senator.
I mean, compared to some other stuff now, that's kind of like meh.
Yeah, who cares that she's wearing a pink wig?
Or
I had
even if she was bisexual.
I had the biggest crush on her, like in the mid 2000s when she was leading protest movements and shit. She became kind of I don't know if she had kids or something and became like a mom, and I don't know, she changed.
Is Eric Soskin a Trump guy they're trying to confirm, or is that somebody from Joe Biden's new?
I would assume it's Biden, but you don't really know with what's going on right now.
Eric Soskin, Inspector General?
I would assume it's a Biden nomination, but that is a very good question. No, apparently nominated by Trump.
What?
This is a Trump nomination they are voting on.
What? Why? What? Why?
Because this is the biggest fuck you. This is like
Oh, Justin, if I had something to beat my head against right now, I would be in pain.
This is a fuck you to the American people.
Oh my god.
They're holding their balls while they do it.
Like my roommate is out in the garage with all the kids teaching them how to play darts. I can hear him yelling from here.
Gonna vote on the outgoing president's
nominations.
Yeah.
Because it's not just somebody that's in an acting position; it's somebody that he actually nominated.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the reasons why I didn't figure it was a Trump appointee, because Trump has been using the acting position to get around people that needed Senate confirmation.
Yeah.
So we've had some really, really inept people in places they shouldn't be in because they've been acting whatever the fuck. So I don't even know why why are they going to confirm this guy? So he can work for what, 4 weeks?
Because Buttigieg is going to clean that whole place out, right? 'Cause that's where he's going, is transportation.
Yes, I would hope. I would hope. If the Biden administration doesn't clean house, there's something wrong.
I don't know. It seems like he's like doing something that we're not used to, and that's like putting competent people in places where they might do some good.
All in all, his appointments thus far, the Health and Human Services Secretary is a Medicare for All advocate. I think that's something. There was one other. The woman. I forget her name now, but she is a Native American. He's appointed her for Interior Secretary.
Yes.
And that's a really big deal. So I mean, that's a couple of progressive appointments.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. So I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything worse than what is it? Herman Cain is HUD secretary.
Well, that's a Fudge who he nominated. I don't know if you know, but like that's the seat. I think Marcia Fudge, I think is her name. It might be Martha. I might be fucking it up. She was the congressperson from Ohio. That's the seat that Nina Turner's going to run for. But he nominated her to be HUD. And I think her her background was banking, and she wanted to be in the Commerce Department. And he nominated her for HUD. Because like I had listened to something, and they said that was a real slap in the face to her, because she was really angling to be in the Commerce Department. But it's
question. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but it's a positive that's gonna open up a seat for Nina Turner.
Right. The burning question really is, though, is who came up with this front desk fucking green marble carpet combo, because it's fucking hideous.
I think gaudy was what they were going for.
They couldn't just go with a nice rich fucking mahogany or cherry wood or whatever the fuck that is to match the rest of it. Jesus fucking Christ. Is this what our tax dollars really pay for? What the fuck?
Have I told you that I'm gonna run for Congress?
Make interior design great again.
But no, like my congressperson ran unopposed. I'm not gonna let him run unopposed, even if I just run a joke campaign. I'm gonna run for Congress.
Do it.
Even if all my signs are just right wingers or morons and linked to my Twitch stream, I'm gonna do it. I've already looked at like how much it's gonna cost. I would love to be a politician. I've just always thought, there's no way in hell that I could ever be a politician. I have an arrest record. I've said every word under the sun that's offensive to people on video, audio. Like, there's no way I could get elected. But now, like after Trump, I'm like, I'm a white male.
We've thought about like nominating Dave and running a whole campaign behind his back so that like eventually we're just like, hey, guess what? You won an election to city council.
I think Dave would be great on the city council.
I think he would too, especially in Campbell. He'd be fucking perfect. He wouldn't be. It would be a great place for him to start. Dave is such a smart fucking dude.
There's no reason why he runs as himself and everything. Like there's no city council. Like you're the fucking audio guy that sits on the city council. Like, I had one of my bosses that owned the radio station. He sat on the city council.
Yeah.
It's not unprecedented. I think my friend should run for office. That needs to be something that happens.
I'm kind of heading in the other direction, where I think that maybe whenever shit kind of mellows out again, I may try to go and take some broadcasting classes.
You should.
That might be fun. Really, I just want to get me and Dave some press passes. But we probably could already.
That is, you absolutely could. With your organization, you could totally do it. But that was one of the things, like when I was in college, oh my god, I got press passes to every fucking thing.
Yeah.
got to be front row for like 9 Inch Nails at a festival.
That's some good shit.
With press pass, yeah, it was. I wasn't a 9 Inch Nails fan at the time. After the concert, I'm like, all right, yeah, that was awesome. I discovered one of my favorite bands. I was tripping on acid too.
Nice.
So like, I'm not even a 9 Inch Nails fan. I'm tripping on acid watching 9 Inch Nails. Like, yeah, that's cool. It was 9 Inch Nails, Gary Newman, Godspeed You, Black Emperor. It was a weird lineup at a festival.
I inadvertently found one of my favorite bands for the first time at a Cradle of Filth concert in San Francisco. It was Daniel Lioneye, this band called Tarissus, and Cradle of Filth. I don't know if you're familiar with any of those bands. Are you familiar with any of those bands at all?
Not at all.
Nope.
I've heard of Cradle of Filth. They're like a metal band, right?
Yeah. They're that Finnish black metal, right? So there's the one band. You know who? Are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So Daniel Lioneye is like a 230 beats per minute speed metal band, right? And it's basically all of the members of him mixed up, and everybody's playing different instruments, right? It's like the Binge and Purge version of Metallica, and that one portion where everybody just runs around and switches instruments except for Kirk Hammett, because Kirk Hammett's a guitarist who just plays guitar. So, so like Billy Vale's on drums, and the guitarist is on bass, and the bass is on guitar, and everybody's all swapped around. And it's super, it's lightning fast fucking metal. It's so good. But then there's this other band that was there that was called Tarissus, and they're Finnish folk Viking metal, and they are fucking amazing, and I highly recommend picking up any one of their albums. Home Garden Beyond is probably one of the best songs that I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's like everything just sounds like a fucking anthem. And they have this this metal accordion player chick. Okay, first of all, they're all dressed up in like full battle garb. They're like in furs and face paint and like wearing swords and leather belts and shit. They're the whole fucking 9 yards. And then they have this metal accordion player chick, and then they have a metal violinist dude. And they're ridiculously good. And I was blown away watching, and all their fans came in full regalia, and it was incredible. It was really, really cool.
Oh, I mean, like, I'm totally into that shit. Like, you know, I've gone to like Ghost concerts and gotten all dressed up and shit.
It's good shit. I miss concerts. I feel bad every time I was like, I'm too tired to go to this little show over at the Caravan, and I should have just gone. Because little did I know.
Yeah. I went to like 100 shows between 2017 and 2018, so it almost seemed like I did have like foresight to know what was coming. I'm glad I did now, I guess.
Yeah. Last year, I took the girls to go see Cat Robichaux's Misfit Cabaret in San Francisco. The memories are coming up in my Facebook memories today of us at the hotel and doing all that fun shit before you couldn't do it anymore. But her show was incredible also. And she's also kind of a friend. She's awesome. She let my kids come to her concert.
Aw.
Huh, Jules?
I definitely miss concerts. That's
Yeah.
And whenever I hear a band that like 2020 fucked me out of, that like I was gonna go to, that really, like, 'cause I was gonna go to Bonnaroo, so there's all kinds of people that I was gonna see.
I saw Billy Joel. Billy Joel was good.
Oh my god, I'd go see Billy Joel.
Billy Joel kicks ass. I saw Journey and Santana and the Doobie Brothers all together. That was a great concert.
Uh-oh, are we getting down to business now?
Uh-oh, maybe.
Wow, they confirmed him by one vote. Strict party line. Still, not even doing the people's business. I don't.
No, why
how
would
do
they
you
do what they're paid for?
How do you justify this? But these people think they're doing good, right?
Yeah. I mean, at least half of them do.
Fucking Mitch McConnell again.
Speak their end for 10 minutes each.
Is there objection?
I ask
Without
the chair to
objection.
lay before the Senate the message to accompany H.R. 133.
The chair lays before the Senate the following message from the House.
Resolved that the House agree to the amendment of the Senate to the bill H.R. 133 entitled An Act to Promote Economic Partnership and Cooperation between the United States and Mexico with an amendment to the Senate amendment.
Dude!
I move to
Why?
concur in the House amendment to the Senate amendment to H.R. 133.
The motion is pending.
That doesn't seem right. Why would you add that sort of amendment at the last fucking
Divided
second?
Between the leaders or their designees and the following the use or yielding back of that time, the Senate vote on the motion to concur without further motions or amendments in order, and that 60 affirmative votes be required to adopt the motion to concur.
Is there objection? Without objection.
I think he said there's going to be people speaking. Like, I'm totally going to talk about people speaking. I was going to make tomato soup tonight.
Mr. President.
The Senator from North Dakota.
I may not now because it takes, like, I got a fucking bunch of tomatoes sitting over there.
To ensure homes and businesses.
Like, are they
in the
going to
Midwest
drag
have
it to the
affordable
last fucking
and reliable
15 minutes
access to
before
power
the government shuts down to
most.
finally vote on the fucking bill?
But the PTC
They might still be wrangling on other amendments.
creating artificially low prices in markets for power generation. Qualified wind
Absolute bullshit.
up to 2.5 cents per kilowatt hour from the taxpayer. These subsidies distort the market and are forcing.
Have I given a time check? What is it like? I'm trying to think of.
We need to keep the lights.
It is an hour and 42 minutes.
Congress established a wind production tax credit in 1992. Wind power
Until the government shuts down. Am I right on that? I'm a
Yeah,
man.
and they're arguing about amendments to the Mexico-America trade agreement bullshit.
That's why we worked on a bipartisan agreement in 2015 to phase
These
down
bougie ass white people have to go. We have to kick them out of government.
19.
Mm-hmm.
We had an agreement.
Term limits,
to do the
motherfucker.
phase
It's
out,
time.
And the wind industry.
That's what I'm talking about, reforming our government.
Senator
Things
Newton
like term
and
limits.
AWEA, the American Wind Energy
It's the
Association,
easiest
and
first
others
step.
to do it.
Term limits, I want ranked choice voting. I want
Opposed to extending the
I want our territories to be states.
We saw what happened in
I'm down with
California
that.
over the summer, and we can't afford to have blackouts and brownouts.
We need something that deals with gerrymandering. We need something that deals with money and politics.
Instead, must strengthen grid resiliency and reliability.
What the fuck does anybody about from North Dakota know about
all
brownouts in California? Get the fuck out of
Wind
here.
isn't blowing, or the sun isn't shining.
His vacation house is in California. What are you talking about?
Instead of
You think he actually lives in North Dakota?
we should be working on making technologies like carbon capture.
Have you been to North Dakota?
Commercially
No.
viable. The American Wind Energy
Point
Agency
taken.
I have not been.
on its website.
Yeah, I haven't been further.
Wind industry is expected to
Well,
remain
no, I've been to New
strong
York,
when the
but
PTC is fully phased out.
in upstate New York. I went to
Why
upstate New
then are
York
we
to go to Orange
considering
County
another
Choppers
extension
back
of
in
this
the day.
credit when the leading
I want to go to New York. I've never been to New York.
strong
It's
growth
cool. I mean, the
for
only
the
reason
wind
it was super
industry
cool was
without
because
the
we went with my dad when my dad was still
We need to
around,
bring
and
back
he
a
had
level playing field for
he saved
competition
up like
in our
25
electricity
grand to
markets
take
and
5
reverse
of us
the
to
trend
New
of
York.
taxpayers continuing to subsidize a
And so
mature,
we had a really
multi-billion-dollar
good time.
wind industry.
See, I've never been to the extreme northeast or the extreme northwest.
I have not either. Well, I went down to. I've been down to Temecula, I think, is the furthest I've been down in California. And then I lived in Phoenix for a couple of years. But as far as like heading out east, like on my own, probably, or like driving, Montana is the furthest east that I've been.
Moving to Montana soon.
And then flew over to New York. And then
I don't know who this dude is, but I don't like him.
Yeah. Furthest I've been to New York, or not New York, furthest I've been north is Tillamook up on the coast.
Isn't that a brand of cheese?
It is. The delicious cheese.
It's pretty good. I've been getting their mozzarella. It's better than anything I can. See, I've got to. Okay. So I prefer to go to the local kind of hippie grocery store. That's where I get like the really expensive cheeses and shit.
Yeah.
But since the pandemic, I've been using Instacart. I can't get that grocery store. I have to get from Kroger.
Right.
That's where I discovered the Tillamook. Like, that's the best mozzarella that I can find at Kroger.
Yeah, my last job before I moved up to Oregon, I worked at a gourmet grocery store in Danville, in this area called Black Hawk. And that's kind of where all of the, like the, not all of, but like a pretty good portion of Bay Area, like politicians and sports players and stuff like that live. It's pretty ritzy. The guy, oh God, I can't remember what his name is. This is ridiculous. The guy that landed the plane in the Hudson River.
Sully,
Captain
Sullenberger.
Captain Sully. Captain Sully lives in Danville. I met him a couple of times. Super cool dude. E40 lives there. E40 lives up in Danville. And I worked in the deli, and we had a fromagerie and a charcuterie, and some of the cheese.
I don't know if you can say those words on this stream.
I might be too bougie for you, Justin.
I have no clue what you just said.
Fromagerie, that's the cheese area, and the charcuterie is the deli meat area.
Fromagerie.
So
I feel like that's something like I have a few people over and we have some drinks. Like, you guys want to have a fromagerie?
We have probably like 1,000 different cheeses.
God damn! I want to go. Like, I'd come.
Probably. Some of this we had like this triple cream brie, like this triple cream goat cheese and shit. It's like $30 a quarter pound.
Brie. I need some brie for fucking Christmas. That's a Christmassy cheese.
Bake that shit.
I'm making my one last grocery order tomorrow.
Yeah, a baked brie and a puff pastry. Yum 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 yum.
Mm-hmm. Do a little cranberry sauce on that shit. Ooh.
Fuck yeah.
Or some peaches. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. I like food.
Me too. We want to talk about food, Justin? Let's talk about food.
It seems like we always do whenever you're on. I'm up to because I was gonna cook. I was gonna do my show and I was gonna cook, but I want to be here for the vote. But they ain't gonna vote. They're gonna vote at midnight tonight.
I know. I made the zuppa toscana soup from Olive Garden the other day. It's Libby's favorite. She loves that.
I've never been to an Olive Garden, so I don't know the soup you're talking about.
Okay, it's a cream-based sausage potato soup with bacon and kale and leeks.
Ooh, it does sound good.
It's delicious, and potatoes.
You know who James Langford is?
Who?
James Langford. What do you think he sounds like before I turn him up? You take a guess?
Something like we need to have this bill. We need to have this amendment. So our trade with Mexico is fair. It has to be fair and balanced, like the old Fox News, like Sean Hannity used to say. Sean Hannity's a good man. Let me tell you, Sean Hannity's a good man. And
right, you ready for this? Let's see how close you were.
Zero. The problem was when it got to zero, some lobbyists helped somebody get it.
You
back
had the cadence right, I think.
Suddenly, after going to zero, reappeared.
I wouldn't have thought he had that deep a voice either, but you had like the cadence correct.
Temporary credit that distorts the market, that literally changes the prices, and all of our energy.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna sound like his balls hadn't dropped yet.
Yeah, that's
solar,
I had the high pitch
or
thing
nuclear.
going.
It gives a special perk to one, and all of the rest of them get furious. But for whatever reason,
I'm sad that you didn't know who the senator from Oklahoma was,
when
the
we
great
agree
James
to something,
Langford.
we should probably stick to it.
I mean, I might. We run through
And
so
we
many
agreed
like
years ago
fucking
to
weird
phase
clips
this
on the
out.
Sunday show.
But yet this
Because all
zombie.
these politicians end up there for some reason or another because they say something stupid. Especially if they have a R dash before their name, then you know it's going to be something stupid.
I love the fact that Dave was on the stream and I was talking about the dude getting arrested in Denver. He's like, "Oh, hey, we talked about him one time."
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That was a. Did you see the story I was talking about?
Which one was it? The guy getting arrested in Denver.
Kidnapped a child in Fresno.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. He was from Virginia, ran for Congress in Virginia in 2018. He ran as a libertarian, talking about the need to get rid of child sexual abuse laws. Went to Fresno and kidnapped a 12-year-old.
Yeah, that seems like the kind of quality candidate that the Libertarian Party would put forward.
Wait, but did they already give Hovind from North Dakota? Didn't they already give him? Or did they maybe they got their Chiron wrong because this is a different guy.
Well, this is John Hovind. Coronavirus.
I don't think that was John
Are
Hovind.
they voting on it now?
And
Are they talking about it now?
I just want to give the Senate a sense of where we are with respect to this renewable energy issue. In front of us now,
They ain't even talking about it.
Renewable
is
energy.
an agreement to extend a variety of approaches that are going
They
to
must still be trying to hammer out some sort of fucking amendment.
that reduces carbon emissions. And when I talk to colleagues on both sides of the aisle, there's
This is just craziness.
enormous support for the effort to reduce carbon emissions. Now, I can look around
Okay,
this
I
chamber,
think I know what this is.
and I can see colleagues starting.
Tell me, what is this?
Do you remember back in the summer? I know that was.
This is Slender Man.
And point out colleagues
Back in the summer, whenever they were talking about all the airlines and how crappy the airlines are doing, and oh my God, we have to save all these airline jobs, and blah 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 blah. And then they were bitching about right whenever they had first put forth this bill in the beginning, after the first CARES Act. This is the HEROES Act, right? That they're voting on?
Yes. No. The
Okay.
HEROES Act is not what
No.
they're voting on. The HEROES Act was the second bill that the House passed. This is a different bill.
Okay, this is a different bill. They were trying to one of the things that the right was bitching about over Nancy Pelosi was that she wanted to add this emissions thing into the public transportation or the transportation industry and attach it to this COVID stimulus or COVID relief bill that they're trying to get passed through. So I think that that's what this is about and why it is important to leave it in, because I think that at that point they were afraid that Trump was going to win again, so they have to do something that would have to do with some sort of regulations on emissions so that in the next 4 years the whole fucking world doesn't burn down.
You know what's crazy about that is like
Trump would be like, just use leaded fuel in the airplanes. It's fine.
The car industry, like, they like harsher standards. They like being forced to get to do better. And I don't understand why, you know, Republicans fight against that.
Because oil jobs and coal jobs, and it's like, you can't.
Like, all the coal miners that work in this country could fit in my fucking apartment. There's not that many of them.
No. I mean, there's like a lot of jobs that don't exist anymore that used to exist, right? There's like, like kerosene street lamp lighters. Like, where's the fucking anger at the former kerosene street lamp lighters union now that those fucking jobs don't exist anymore because we use electricity?
Well, I would be under the assumption that we were probably paying kids and that they're probably not even paying them that much.
Right.
And then several of them caught on fire, if I had to guess.
So
that industry may have ended when we had child labor laws.
Right. So what I'm saying is that I didn't realize that all the marble matched the stuff on the back. That makes a little more sense. I don't understand why this like fight against any sort of energy progression. Like, we have the means and the ability to switch over to to cleaner production of electricity for everybody.
And it would be a boon to our economy.
And it would be a boon to our economy. It's just like this whole, like, well, my daddy was a coal miner and my daddy's daddy was a coal miner and we all live to be 47 years old and I'm 46 and my grandkids need to be a coal miner. It's like, no, they really don't. Like,
okay, well,
a new family tradition.
There is something that I can say for that, is that there was a very concerted marketing campaign in Eastern Kentucky when I was a kid in the mid-90s. There was a lot of bumper stickers. It was like, coal, keep the lights on. There was another one, you know, there was a bumper sticker that said friends in low places and had like a miner crawling, you know, kind of like the song, the Garth Brooks song.
Right.
Like, those bumper stickers were on every fucking car. So, like, it was, we did this thing in my school called the Coal Fair every fucking spring. We had to do like a science fair project, but it always had to be about coal and how great coal was. Like, it was really propagandized in that area. And that's why I'm so sensitive to marketing and communications, and it's weird that that's the business I'm in as well. But like, communicating these ideas, I see how powerful it is. I've seen somebody's brain turn to mush from watching Fox News for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the campaigns that got people to vote against their own best interests.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I was news director of 9 radio stations, and that was the only industry that I had to run shit by people when I was talking about coal, and all the time it was like fucking somebody dying in the coal mines. Like, I had to run my stories by upper management. That's fucked up shit.
Yeah. And surprise, surprise, probably around the same time when I was in school, it was, our science fairs were how much energy the sun has that we could use. And how to...
Final vote at 10:45 p.m. Supposedly 10 minutes. Okay, go on. I'm sorry, Winch.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yes. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. No, what I was just saying is that it was like agriculturally focused. It was renewable energy focused. Of course, everybody had their lava volcanoes. That was always important. How a circuit works with the foil and the light up the light and all that stuff.
See, that was all we did the 4-H shit as well, but like there was a separate coal fair. Had to do the shit about the coal.
Yeah.
Ingrained in us. I mean, my grandfather was a deep mine, fucking actual miner back in the day.
Yeah. Mostly like because my grandparents both came from the South. My grandpa was born in Kansas City, Missouri. And my grandma was from Birmingham, Alabama.
Have you ever been to Birmingham, Alabama?
I have not.
It is a really cool city. I've been to Birmingham, Alabama many times.
I bet it is. I still have lots of family that live in Smithville, Missouri.
If you were going to go one place in Alabama, that would be where I would recommend Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's a very cool city, yes.
Most of them were like
a lot of concerts
career like military dudes. The family was over there. Anyway.
There's a lot of that around here.
Yeah.
There's in rural America, you don't have many options, and like the military preys on that.
Right. Well, my grandpa has actually kind of an interesting history because his dad was the caretaker of the local cemetery. So he, dug graves and did all the maintenance and all this stuff. And when my grandpa was like 13 years old, had found his dad keeled over from a heart attack in the cemetery.
What?
So, yeah. So
I just hit the bowl, so that took a second to register, right? Like I just blown out my smoke as you're telling the story, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. So my grandpa's oldest brother, John C., kind of took over taking care of the family, and they ended up basically being bootleggers and stock car racers. And when my grandpa was like, I want to say maybe 15 years old, was helping his brother out at the track, and his brother couldn't drive his car, so he had to step in and drive the car, and he crashed it, busted his collarbone. And I cannot imagine in the 40s and the 30s what it was like to break a collarbone and survive.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that.
Right? Because what do you think it's like to reset a collarbone in 1934?
And not injure the spine and shit. Ooh.
Oh
ooh.
my God.
Oh.
Yep. Then, like 4 years later, he joined the Navy, and then he was in the Navy until, I don't know, the 70s. They moved out to California.
In the Navy.
He went all over the place. He went to Japan, and they were in he was in 3 wars. He was in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. And lived. Kept all his limbs. It's kind of amazing.
That is kind of amazing. Wow. Yeah,
He
but
did a lot of warehouse stuff.
did he get good benefits on the other side?
Oh shit, yes. 30 years in the fucking Navy. Fuck yeah.
Good on him then.
Fuck yeah. No, he got the full-on military funeral and all that stuff for him and my grandma. They're in a national veterans cemetery in Igo, California, up north.
Hell yeah. Rest in power.
Fuck yeah. My grandpa
Fought
was
some
93.
Nazis. What do you think
Like,
World
what did
War
they-
III is going to be like?
I was like, what did they inject you with in the military back in the 70s that made you live to be 93 years old? You drink like a motherfucker. You eat like
smoke?
shit. You have diabetes and cancer. You beat like 3 different kinds of cancer.
Just tough old man.
Dude, hella tough old man.
They may have injected him with some shit, though. They did all kinds of experiments.
Probably.
Never know what they might have injected him with.
No shit.
We might be getting close to a vote. Maybe.
Maybe.
You like the Christmas lights?
I do like the Christmas lights. I think that they match you for red light. I think you're becoming more and more one of us, and you don't even know it.
I did. Every time I've been on, I've changed them to be the solid red.
A good deal.
Oh yeah, Dave always appreciates it. Hold on, I need to go get another beverage before we do
right.
this vote here in a couple minutes. Hopefully, what do you think the odds are?
Oh man. I have no idea. I don't know.
Damn it, U.S. government! I was gonna make tomato soup. It's gonna be fucking, because I've got all the tomatoes over there. I don't know if you'd be able to see the pile of tomatoes that are on my counter.
I'm gonna mute myself. I will be right back.
Okay, take your time. Because it ain't happening at 10:45. I'm still going to be sitting here at 15 after. Waiting for them to vote on the coronavirus relief and government spending bill. And I've still been saving the knife-wielding dog story. And this is the government that's going to send you a check by next week. Give me a break. Can't even get together for a vote on this shit.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Wait a minute, that wasn't Media Winch. That was on C-SPAN's end. Oh, no, it wasn't. That was one of the media winch's offspring, perhaps.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Are you gonna stay and talk to us? You're just gonna hit and run.
Sure.
What's your name?
Libby.
What up, Libby? Have you been on a stream before? Where'd you go, Libby? Oh, nuts. I was going to talk to her. Back when I had my radio show in college, one of my professors had like her daughter was 12, 13 years old, and she just had like the nastiest mouth, so I'd bring her on the show, and she'd say the funniest shit on air. This little 12, 13-year-old talking about making guys come and shit. It was weird. Sounds really weird when I say it like that. But this was the late aughts. You get away with a lot of different shit.
Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Would have order in the Senate.
She would say shit just to be outrageous.
Mr. President,
Senators will please take their conversations off the floor. The Majority Leader.
I ask consent that further proceedings on the quorum call be dispensed with.
Without objection.
You gotta talk to them like they're kids.
Before the Senate, the message to accompany H.R. 1520.
The chair lays before the Senate the following message from the House.
Resolved that the House agree to the amendment of the Senate to the bill H.R. 1520 entitled An Act to Amend the Public Health Service Act to provide for the publication of a list of licensed biological products and for other purposes with an amendment to the Senate amendment.
What?
I move to concur in the House amendment to the Senate amendment, and I know of no further debate on the motion.
Is there further debate? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it.
Give us a vote.
Motion to concur is agreed to.
I ask unanimous consent the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Without objection.
Now, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of H.Con. Res. 128, which was received from the House.
The clerk will report.
House Concurrent Resolution 128, directing the Clerk of the House of Representatives to make a correction in the enrollment of H.R. 1520.
Is there objection to proceeding to the measure? Without an objection, the Senate will proceed.
I ask unanimous consent the resolution be agreed to. The motion be to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
And let me tell you, like all day, everybody been making memes like they already got their $600. You ain't got your $600 yet. Been mocking it like you already got it. It ain't passed yet. That's what we're waiting on right now.
Majority Leader.
Not all time be yielded back.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered.
Finally, we're done with debate.
Yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There is. The question is on the motion to concur. The yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander. Ms. Baldwin.
Hello.
Mr. Barrasso.
Hello.
Hi.
Mr. Bennett.
What's going on?
Finally,
Mrs.
we're
Blackburn.
back. So I had to figure out how to unmute again.
Well, you were doing it earlier. Is this still Libby?
Yes.
What's going on, Libby? Have you been on a stream before, or is this your first time?
No. It's my first time.
This is your first time.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
It's fun.
Do you watch any streams? Do you watch people on YouTube?
Yes.
What kind of streams do you like to watch?
I don't watch streams.
What kind of videos do you watch on YouTube?
Funny videos.
Like what?
I don't know.
What do you know about politics? Are you there, Libby?
What?
What do you
What?
Who do you know who the president is?
I know. Biden?
Well, yeah, he will be the president in a few days. Do you know who the president was before Biden?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. What do you think about Donald Trump?
He's a good president.
Was he?
Yes.
I didn't realize you were a Trump voter. You probably don't want to let your mom hear you say that.
Hello?
Are you there?
Yes.
I thought you left me, Libby.
Hi.
Hi, we've already done our introductions.
That was my sister.
Okay, so you can't confuse me like that. You gotta, we're doing radio, so you gotta tell the people what's going on. You gotta paint the picture for them, right?
I don't know how.
That's what I'm trying to teach you. So you're gonna hop on the stream. You gotta let people know what's going on. So if your sister's gonna take over, you gotta tell me that.
Oh.
That way everybody knows what's going on. You can't just hop out. It's unprofessional.
Okay.
I got accused of being unprofessional earlier today, and I don't want to get accused of being unprofessional again, even when I've got kids on the stream. What are we hawing about?
Mr. Blumenthal, Mr. Blunt, Mr. Booker.
Oh, no.
Mr. Bozeman.
See, you're the other kid. You're not Libby, right?
I'm
Mr. Brown.
I'm Libby.
Oh, okay. Hi, Libby.
Mr. Burr.
My sister's name is
Miss
Lizzie.
Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Carper,
Lizzie.
Mr. Carper, Mr. Casey.
I see. Now you're completely confusing me. I don't know who I'm talking to.
Lizzie wants
Mr.
to
Cassidy.
talk to.
Mr. Coon.
See, you gotta tell me these things. What's up, Lizzie?
I'm good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it.
How are you?
I'm quite well, actually. I'm watching some old people try to vote on giving me $600.
What?
Yeah, our government might give us $600.
Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo.
You don't get $600 because you're a kid.
Mr. Daines, Ms. Duckworth, Mr. Durbin.
Hey.
I know, it's not fair, is it?
Mr. Enzi. Miss Ernst, Mrs. Feinstein, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Gardner, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr.
Hello.
Graham, Mr. Grassley, Miss Harris, Mr.
You already
Hack,
said
Miss
hello.
Hampton, Mr. Hawley.
I know.
Mr. Heinrich, Ms. Hirono, Mr. Hoven, Mrs. Hyde-Smith. Mr. Inhofe. Mr. Johnson,
Meow, meow.
Mr. Jones, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr.
Do you have a
King,
cat?
Mr. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford,
I'm a cat.
I've got 3 cats.
Mr. Leahy,
Can I see?
Mr. Lee,
One of them is in the floor right now. Yeah, right there he is.
Mrs. Leffler,
Meow, meow,
Manchin,
meow.
Mr. Markey,
Hold on, you want me to grab him? I'll grab him.
Mr. McConnell, Mr. Menendez, Mr. Merkley, Mr. Moran,
Say hi,
Ms.
Smokey.
Murkowski, Mr. Murphy, Mrs.
Hi,
Murray, Mr. Paul,
Smokey.
Mr. Perdue, Mr. Peters, Mr. Portman, Mr.
He's
Reed,
even got his own
Mr.
graphic on the
Roberts,
show.
Mr. Romney, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Round,
Hey, dude.
Mr. Rubio,
Meow.
Mr. Sanders, Mr. Sass,
It's.
I'm great.
One
You
of your
enjoy
cats
myself.
Just walk in front of the
Mr.
screen.
Schatz, Mr. Schumer, Mr.
He
Scott,
did.
Florida, Mr. Scott,
That's why I've got a little graphic for when he goes in front of the screen.
Mrs. Shaheen,
Bye.
Mr. Shepard,
Bye.
Ms. Cinema, Ms. Smith, Ms. Stabenow, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Tester, Mr. Thune,
I'm assuming the media wins or I'll walk back in the room.
Chillis, Mr. Toomey.
Yes, that's me.
They really they left in a hurry.
Yeah, well, no, they had dinners ready, so they had to go eat food.
If they get this vote over, I'd get the fuck off here and make some dinner.
Mr. Udall, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Ms. Warren, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr.
We're going through roll call right now, so we're actually up on it. They're not going to vote it down. There are reasons to vote it down. However, like, 'cause this is a horrible fucking bill. It's a giveaway
kept
to
you
big
entertained.
corporations. They did. I couldn't get one to talk to me constantly. It was like it was a switch.
Libby wants to stream so bad, but she gets embarrassed once she gets in front of the microphone.
I mean, she needs to start out with, like, I had a karaoke machine, and I used to record myself on the karaoke machine. You start out
My
doing
mom
something
got her
like
one for
that.
Christmas.
That kind of stuff is what prepares you.
Alexander,
Cause she's like 8, right?
Barrasso, Bennett,
She's 7.
Blumenthal,
The other one's 8.
Bozeman, Brown, Burr, Cantwell, Capito, Cardin, Carper, Casey, Cassidy, Collins,
Still a few years away.
Cornyn, Cortez Masto, Cotton.
But then again, what do I know? There's fucking kid streamers that are millionaires.
Durbin, Ernst, Feinstein,
The 8-year-old says she
Fisher,
wants to learn
Gardner,
how to code.
Gillibrand, Graham, Grassley,
Oh, that's cool.
Hassan, Heinrich, Hirono, Hoven, Hyde-Smith, Inhofe, Jones, Kane, Kelly, Kennedy, King, Klobuchar, Langford, Leahy, Leffler, Manchin, Markey, Merkley, Moran, Murphy, Murray, Peters, Portman, Reed, Risch, Roberts, Romney, Rosen, Rubio, Sanders,
Fucking Romney.
Schatz, Schumer,
Fucking Rubio.
Shaheen, Shelby,
Fucking Rubio.
Smith,
God damn, I
Stabenow,
hate him.
Sullivan, Tester, Thune, Tillis, Toomey, Van Hollen, Warner, Warren, Wicker, Wyden, Young. Mr. Blunt, aye. Senators voting in the negative. Blackburn, Johnson, Lee, Hall, Scott of Florida. Mr. Cruz, no.
Of course, no.
Yeah, interesting lineup of people voting no. I'm sure you're going to have a Rand Paul no vote.
Mr. Coons, aye. Mr. McConnell, aye.
Wait, McConnell voted for it?
I would assume so. Really? I mean, McConnell's just hoping to not get the guillotine.
Miss Harris, aye.
Are they smart enough to know that the guillotines are coming?
I mean, some of them have got to be on Facebook and have seen the memes.
Or does Mitch McConnell think he'll die before the guillotines come out?
I think if Mitch McConnell's head gets cut off, he'll just be like the very first head in a jar, like on Futurama. Him and Pat Robertson.
Ms. Murkowski,
Still be running our government.
Aye. Mr. Menendez, aye.
So there we go. It is passed. Yeah, I told your kids they were giving out $600 checks, but they didn't get any because they're kids. I got kind of bummed over that.
Yeah, Libby loves money. Now she's
Is that
over
the one
here
that was
doing
a
the Fortnite
stream?
dance.
Libby was the one that did the majority of the talking.
Yes.
Is that the one that wants to stream?
Yeah, she wants to be a little streamer. You back again, honey?
See-
You want to talk some more?
Seems like it comes natural.
Come
Hello,
here.
hello.
Hello, what's going on? Mom tells me you want to be a streamer.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta have a subject. You know, I do politics. Your mom does derp and makeup. What are you gonna talk about?
Booker, aye.
Cats.
I would watch a stream about cats.
Mr. Hawley,
no.
Mr. Hawley, aye.
Okay, well, if you want to be a streamer, you gotta have an idea of what you want to talk about. So, you think on that and get back to me, okay?
Well, okay. Talking to the microphone, though. What are these people doing right here in this video?
Oh, no.
It looks like they're working, but they're really not.
Seriously.
They're talking.
But I would think the job is tiring. Like if you had to go and put on this stupid fucking face all day.
Would that be tiring?
Yes.
It would be for me. That's why I couldn't do retail and shit, because I couldn't put on the sales face.
It would be
I always had to have a job where I was away from the public.
When you start working, you want a job where you're with the public or away from the public?
away from the public.
I don't blame you one bit. If I'm going to be exposed to the public, it's going to be when they're a captive audience, watching me or listening to me. I showed her one of my cats. Smokey got up here for a second. That was the first time Smokey had been on the show for a while.
Meow.
Meow.
Meow, meow.
All right.
I love cats.
Go eat all your food. Quit being distracted. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get this vote over with so I can go make some food. I was going to go long the next couple of nights to make up for the fact that I've been fucking off. And then I'm going to fuck off on Thursday and Friday and not do a show.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I like Christmassy shit. I'm going to make gingerbread cookies and watch... Like, there's no politics going on Christmas Eve.
No, it's all... yeah, they're on recess by then.
Yeah.
But, the Christmas traditions that we have at my house, I guess maybe are a little bit weird. Like our Christmas movies, like there's the normal ones, right? We're kind of over A Christmas Story. Like that one has been so far played out. Like I can't even watch it anymore. It just annoys me.
No, I probably haven't seen it in 5 or 6 years. So.
And leave them alone.
See, I don't, because like I'm in control of the media I consume, like, and I get bored with shit really easily. Like I haven't seen Christmas Story in fucking years. So if I was to watch it now, like it'd be like a treat.
Right, but like movies that people wouldn't even think twice about because they're horrible, like Working Girl.
I've never seen it. I don't know what it is.
It's Harrison Ford, Sigourney Weaver, Joan Cusack, Melanie.
Is this a Christmas movie?
No, it's not a Christmas movie at all. It's
Why are you watching it at Christmas then? What
big hair rom-com basically. And but my mom and I, like pretty much every time we get together, we watch this movie. But definitely around Christmas, for sure. Christmas, Thanksgiving. It's just like a background movie that's not Christmas music. And then we just fucking get raging fucking stoned and drunk and cook food.
I got a Smokey in my lap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what you doing, buddy? He's the sweetest cat.
Catto.
He shouldn't be president, though. That's I'm sorry.
No Smokey for president.
That was a Brie Creed idea. Like he's a derpy cat. If any of my cats deserve to be president, it's Socrates. Ow. He's the noble, smart. He has all the attributes of being a president. He even looks presidential when he sits up. That's the one that you called Murder Claws.
Murder mitts.
Oh, murder mitts, yeah.
Murder mitts.
Smokey needed some attention. And see, like, this shit's already passed and they're still gonna piss around.
Oh my god. My cousin. I've told you the saga of my cousin, the nurse.
With the COVID, yeah.
She just got the COVID vaccine.
Wait, wasn't she like still in quarantine?
She took her fucking friends to Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
wasn't she still in quarantine from
November.
that?
And they all came back with COVID. And one of them fucking died. And now she's got the vaccine.
Because she's a frontline worker.
Mr. Purdue.
I don't know
Mr.
why that
Purdue,
rubs me the wrong way.
I like frontline workers should be like the people getting it first, I guess.
But if you take yourself and your husband and 4 of your friends to fucking Cabo.
Well, yeah, but you can't, like, how are you going to have a system to discriminate against people that went to Cabo, you know? Like, it's easier to just say, like, okay, all frontline workers. I understand your point is valid, but it's one of those, like, you know, the surfer bum argument. Like, you just got to, like, If you give everybody a UBI, yeah, sure, some of them are going to be a surfer bomb, but you just got to suck it up and go with it for the good of everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's going to be better in the long run. I guess.
I guess doubly for her, right? Because she already isn't socially responsible, so she's the kind of person that needs it, so.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything before.
Especially because she works at a hospital.
Especially since she
Like
fucking killed one of her friends with fucking COVID.
Yeah. Fuck. Have you heard about the strain in UK?
Oh, that's like, it's more transmissible. I mean, I
Like
guess
70% more
time will tell
transmissible?
whether or not it's more deadly. I guess if it's more transmissible, then more people will get it, then technically it would be more deadly. Just by statistical standpoint.
I was like, that's just why you don't want it to spread. You don't want it to mutate into different shit.
Exactly. Because one of them motherfuckers is going to be patient zero, right? And then that's it.
And
I'm trying to put in
I
a
haven't-
plan for the wasteland.
I haven't heard any update on what was going on in India, but that shit was weird. But like, it's not like we've known
Mr.
these
Braun,
global
Mr. Braun.
outbreaks were coming.
Aye.
I'm actually amazed now, like going back and you talking about like the Ebola crisis and shit during Obama. Bird flu and swine flu, like how many people like actually did die, and like I was like it didn't affect my life in any way.
No, because it didn't ever get to here, right? Because we would send out a team and they would handle it there. So it didn't spread to other places because there was competency and responsibility and reliability back then.
I think we had some here in like Texas or something that had swine flu. They kept it contained. We had a federal government that knew how to do containment and tracing and isolation and shit.
Just do things.
Yeah. I was gonna wait until the gavel came down and everything, but goddamn. Our government is it's broken. It's fundamentally broken.
It's gonna pass. So at least there's that.
Yeah, well, we know it passed. This is just like jacking off. Remember that time John McCain came over and did the whole thumb thing right at the
good
end?
for him.
Fuck him. He was grandstanding and hot dogging there. I almost wish he killed it then. You know, it would like... It would have sucked in the immediate, like, couple of years. But, like, we might have got a better push for Medicare for All out of it. I mean, we're seeing strong support, the whole Jimmy Dore thing. Seeing strong support, a groundswell for yeah. But at least the one thing that I will give that whole fiasco is that at least Medicare for All is in the conversation and is being brought up and talked about.
All right, I'm going to jump off of here. I got to go do child things, and I will talk to you later or see you in the stream at 9 o'clock over on Meltdown Monday.
Oh, that's have I gone long enough to do a raid over to Dave?
No.
Oh, shit.
8 o'clock we do that, right? I don't even remember what time I do my own stream. 8 o'clock.
All right, I will see you soon.
All right, later.
Yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight. I've had enough of these yahoos. Our government sucks. It looks like Echoplex is on. So if you're still hanging with me, I'll send you over to them. So go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.
Mr. Scott of South Carolina. Aye. Mr. Sass, aye.